evening, everybody, from downtown Cleveland at Quicken Loans Arena. It's the Cleveland Gladiators and the Spokane Shock. The Shock have already punched their ticket to the playoffs. The Gladiators are a playoff hopeful. Hi, everybody. Doug Plagens here alongside my broadcast partner tonight, Dustin Fox. And Dustin, Gladiators trying to punch a ticket to the playoffs tonight. But first, continuing this homestand, getting back here at home, coming off a bye week. How do you keep things fresh? How do you use that bye week to get refreshed going into a sprint to the finish here with 2 games left?
Well, it's been a struggle the last few weeks. The Glads have lost 4 in a row. They're trying to find some sort of momentum here at the end of the season. They do have 2 home games to end the year. And you hope that maybe they use this time off to allow them to refresh and refocus their minds and allow them to just think about these last 2 games of the year and realize, hey, look, the playoffs are right in front of you. There's a great opportunity right there.
And lately, the Gladiators haven't had the results they've wanted, but tonight, a chance to lock up a playoff spot. They need to win one of their last 2 games to punch a ticket to the playoffs. They could get some help as well. If Tampa Bay loses one of their last 2, that would also send the Gladiators to the playoffs. But, Dustin, the Gladiators a chance tonight. And again, considering the way things have gone at home, to have a chance to take matters into your own hands, not a bad situation to be in.
It's remarkable to think about the situation, the way things have went, and certainly the struggles they've had at home here, to be in a position to still get themselves into the playoffs. You got to feel good about it. Coach Tunn, obviously last season, they didn't lose many games. They lost 1 game and got themselves into the playoffs, back to the Arena Bowl. They've still got those goals and those hopes in their sights, and look, you get in, you never know what can happen.
And looking at a key matchup tonight, normally in arena football, we're talking about the offense, but tonight talking about a couple of the big guys on each team's defensive line. First, looking at Willie McGinnis, the Gladiators, the team's sack leader on the season. It's been Mr. Consistency and a real anchor on that defensive line for the Gladiators, and that quarterback pressure is going to be important tonight.
Well, for both teams, really. I mean, you talk about somebody's going to have to make a stop. Some teams are going to have to get a turnover, whether it's a fumble recovery, a strip sack, something along those lines, or a tip ball to allow the defensive backs to get an interception. They've got a pretty good one, too.
7.5 sacks on the season for Willie McGinnis. 9 sacks on the year for James Ruffin, who anchors that defensive line of the Spokane Shock. So the Gladiators' offensive line will need to contain him tonight.
Well, this guy's a monster. He's going to be tough. He's going to be in the backfield all day, and they just got to try and slow him down. They're not going to be able to stop him. That's the key. But they just got to, whether it's double teams or what they have to do to just try and disrupt him a little bit. But you see the numbers there. He's been unbelievable.
And lately it seemed like the team that gets the most quarterback pressure has the best chance of winning the football game. Before we get things going tonight, let's go down to field level. Here's Kenny Rhoda.
Thanks, Doug. I'm here with head coach Steve Tunn. Coach, you had the bye week to look over the last 4 losses. Was there a common denominator in the 4 losses?
No, really, it was a combination of a lot of things. I think we, the 2 big losses really hurt us. The last game against Orlando, we actually did a lot of good things, played a lot better. We have to continue doing those things. I think having the week off kind of healed some guys up, got some new guys in, so we should be ready to go tonight.
What about special teams? I know the last 2 TV games we've done, special teams have been a problem. Were you able to figure some things out there?
Sometimes the bounce of the ball off the net, but we still have to do a good job. We can't give them an easy touchdown off special teams.
And what's it mean to have number 1 back, Super Mario, in that defensive backfield?
It's great to have Mario back. I mean, he's got great ball skills. Hopefully we can get some turnovers. But just having him back there, his energy, his experience, being able to work with DJ in the middle should be a great help for us tonight.
Best of luck tonight, Coach.
All right, thanks.
There you have it from head coach Steve Tunn. They win, they're in, guys. Back up to you.
Thanks very much, Doug Plagens, Dustin Fox. You just heard from Kenny Rhoda down at field level, the Gladiators and the Spokane Shock. And we've already mentioned it once, but a win tonight for the Gladiators puts them into the playoffs. Spokane, even though their record, a game less than that of the Gladiators, 6-10 of the Shock. The Gladiators 7-9. Spokane already in the playoffs. That picture over in the National Conference, well, 1 fewer win got the Spokane Shock into the playoffs, a week ahead potentially of the Gladiators. Gladiators need to win here tonight or win one of the last 2 or 1 Tampa Bay loss in their last 2 games would put the Gladiators into the playoffs as well. So a lot of different factors come into the play. Gladiators chance to take matters into their own hands tonight. The Gladiators going to have the ball to start. Down to our left to return the opening kickoff is Amari Jackson. Taylor Rowan down to our right to kick it away for the Spokane Shock. Talked to Steve Tunn, the head coach of the Gladiators, before this one, and he said that obviously a fast start important, and we've seen it on this Gladiators team, a big example of that. When they come out clicking on their first drive, it's usually a good indicator of how things are going to go.
Well, there's no question you want to get off to a fast start in this game, especially against a team that has won 2 games in a row, and so that they've got a lot of momentum coming into this game. They feel good about themselves. They're a very confident group. Talking about Spokane, and so it's going to be critical to get off to that fast start. Let's see if Colin Taylor can get involved early in this first drive.
Gladiators coming off a bye. They've lost 4 straight. Spokane has won 2 straight games, and the opening kickoff is in the air. Rowan boots it to our left. Amari Jackson on the return for the Gladiators. Cuts off to the right side on his feet, 15-yard line, and he's wrapped up around the ankle and taken down around the 16-yard line or so. Sergio Gilliam in there on the special teams tackle. 12 seconds in, first quarter, no score. Gladiators and the Spokane Shock here this evening. It'll be the Gladiators offense coming onto the field to get things going early on in this one. The Subway starting lineups for the Gladiators: quarterback Shane Austin, the offensive line CJ Cobb, Jason Palmgren in the middle, Kid O'Brien. The offense rounding out with the fullback PK Manley and the receivers Amari Jackson, Dominic Goodman, and Colin Taylor. About 34 seconds into this one, 1st and 10 from the 17. Austin over the middle for Taylor, caught around the 21, and then forced back a little bit by a tandem of Spokane defenders. So a pickup of maybe 4 on the play. 45 seconds into the action, no score. Subway starting lineups continue with the Spokane defense. The line: Micah King, James Ruffin, you heard about him, and Terrence Taylor. Derek Summers, the MAC linebacker. The rest of the Spokane defense: Kevin McCullough, the Jack linebacker, Rashard Dodd Masters, Sergio Gilliam, Mike McMillan are the defensive backs. 13:53 left first quarter. 3 receivers loaded to the right side of Shane Austin on 2nd down and 6. Dump off to Colin Taylor across midfield, on his feet to the 15, still on his feet, breaks a tackle to the end zone. Touchdown Gladiators. Colin Taylor on the 2nd offensive play, and the Gladiators strike first.
Beautifully designed play, set up perfectly, getting into the game breaker himself. Colin Taylor, fresh off of 9 catches last week. His 2nd catch of the game is going to take this to the house. They just try and set up a simple bubble screen, and Colin Taylor does the rest. He gets some good blocks down the field, especially from his wide receivers, and then he makes a couple of guys miss, especially right there in the back end, and then he pulls the defender almost all the way into the end zone and shows great effort to finish it off.
Tell you what, you're not going to tackle Colin Taylor just by grabbing the end of the jersey. 2 minutes in, 6-0 Gladiators. Adrian Trevino on for the extra point try, and that one is good. So the Gladiators 7-0 after 2 offensive plays here this evening. They have to like that start. Colin Taylor has 37 touchdown catches on the year, and he did a lot of the work on that one. 7-0 Gladiators on the Gladiators Football Network.
Quicken Loans Arena, the Gladiators off to a big start, 7-0 over the Shock. Quarterback Shane Austin with me there. Shane, 2 quick passes. Was that the game plan coming in?
Yeah, I mean, just trying to get into a rhythm. I mean, usually screens, you only expect a few yards out of it, but, CT did a great job of running aggressive and getting into the end zone for us.
And Colin, take me through that. You catch a short pass, and then you did the rest.
Oh, man, Kenny, we've been working on that all year. Shane just gets it out to me. Our receivers get out in block. Linemen come out. That worked perfectly. Everybody was out there doing their job. I just, they made it easy on me. I could take it to the house there. That was fun.
All right, good luck the rest of the way. Guys, back up to you.
Welcome back, everybody, and thank you very much, Kenny. 12:47 left first quarter, 7-0 Gladiators. A hook up between those two, Shane Austin to Colin Taylor, and the Gladiators have a 7-0 lead. So on comes the Spokane offense for the first time. Subway starting lineup continues. The quarterback is Arvell Nelson, a Cleveland native. The offensive line: Sam Tupwa, Deverick Gallington, and Larry Banks Jr. The rest of the offense: the fullback is Bryson Kelly. The wide receivers are Anthony Amos, Rashad Carter, and Nick Truesdell. 12:24 left first quarter. 7-0 Gladiators over Spokane. 2 receivers to the left, make it 3. It's going to be a handoff on the game's first play, and tripped up is the fullback Bryson Kelly. And he's taken down for what may be a loss of a yard or 2. And you don't usually see that to start off an offensive series, but they go for the short run. It's a loss of 2 yards. We played 3 minutes. Here's the Subway starting lineup. Gladiators defense: it's Jeremy Richardson, Willie McGinnis, Randy Culling on the line. Brian Burkowski's the MAC linebacker. The defensive backfield: Joe Fennessy, the Jack linebacker. The defensive backs: Mario Norman, Devin Dace, and Dominic Jones. And we've got laundry all over the field. That play won't even take off. That 2nd down and 12 play. So a penalty, and we'll have the ruling. So it'll remain second down. It's going to go to second down and 7. A little movement on the Gladiators line, and it's a 5-yard penalty against the Gladiators. So second and 7 with 11:42 left here in the first quarter, and the Gladiators a 7-0 lead. We talked about Mario Norman. Dustin and I will get to more on him here in just a moment. Arvell Nelson over the middle, and that one is caught, and then taking it down to around the 20-yard line or so. It's Rashad Carter. And it's going to be a first down and then some for the Spokane Shock, who get down to the Gladiators 19 as they go right to left. But Mario Norman, Dustin, we saw what he did last year. First team All-Arena, certainly a good body of work with his 12 interceptions, and that'll be a calming presence to the whole Gladiators defense.
Arguably the best defensive back in the game last year. You know, he gets picked up right before the Arena Bowl by the Baltimore Ravens to go to camp with them. Had a little short stint in the CFL. It's good to have him back, though.
Arvell Nelson, and it's picked off up the left side of the field. Then cutting to the middle of the field is Devin Dace, and he's taken down around the 22, 23-yard line. An early turnover committed by Spokane, and the Gladiators in the driver's seat early in this one, less than 5 minutes in. Dace started the season as a member of the Spokane Shock, and he makes his old team pay.
Just a great breakup by him on a ball that looked to be caught on the outside. He comes up out of nowhere and does a great job intercepting this right at the attack point, and then does a little something with it afterwards. The unfortunate part about it, Doug, is that he gets tackled by an offensive lineman. And so we'll have to hear a little bit from his teammates. Actually, it was a running back who tackled him, but he was a bigger guy. And obviously, when you get the football in your hands, your job is to try and take it to the house. He tried and didn't succeed, but the Glads do have the football back.
So the Gladiators have the ball. Long throw, Austin to Taylor. Caught for a touchdown. Colin Taylor's second receiving touchdown of the game, and the Gladiators lead 13-0.
Well, that's the way you answer. You get an interception. They call it sudden change, and you take a shot down the field, and that's exactly what the Gladiators did, going right back to Colin Taylor. Shane Austin has thrown 3 passes in this game, and they've all went to Colin Taylor as completions, and 2 of them have been touchdowns.
And that was a perfectly thrown ball right there, and Taylor now has 38 receiving touchdowns on the year, trying to be the first Gladiator to hit the 40-touchdown plateau since 2010 when Ben Nelson did it, so not something that happens every season, and Taylor creeping up on that number 40. Shane Austin is also coming up on the Gladiators team record of 100 touchdown passes in a season. Here's the extra point try from Trevino, and it is good. 9:35 left in the first quarter. 14-0 Gladiators. Have to love everything about this start to the game. Folks, the Gladiators coming out clicking on all cylinders, and Austin to Taylor has been the recipe. We'll step aside. We'll be right back. This is the Gladiators presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. Nothing Gladiators early on. 9:35 left here in the opening quarter. It was Austin to Taylor on the game's first drive, then an interception, and then after that, one play, 27 yards, a 6-second drive. How about that for efficiency? Austin to Taylor from 27 yards out, a perfectly thrown ball. And just like that, again, 14-0 Gladiators, 9:35 left in the first. NovaCare inactive report tonight, and 12 names in all on that inactive report, so a little bit bigger than the Gladiators would like. Some of those notables on there. Fred Shaw, who's played some solid defensive back for the Gladiators lately, doing it without him there this evening, but Mario Norman steps back in, so certainly a good time for him to come back in with Fred Shaw unable to go tonight. Adrian Trevino has it teed up, and he'll boot this one away from our left down to our right. The Gladiators, their black jerseys, black pants, black helmets. Spokane wearing their white jerseys, white helmets this evening. Trevino's kickoff has some distance to it, and it's going to be fielded in the end zone. And out of the end zone, up the near side, and ultimately taken down shy of the Spokane 20-yard line. Lugging it up the near side was Anthony Amos, the receiver, lined up as the return man. And the first drive for Spokane didn't go particularly well. Their quarterback is Arvell Nelson, who's a Cleveland native, a Glenville product, so undoubtedly playing in front of a lot of family and friends here tonight at the Q. And Spokane's had a lot of movement in that quarterback position, but he's a tall guy, 6'5", and certainly an athlete who's played some good football for them the last couple of games. They won last week. 3 receivers right side. Nelson pumps, throws, and it's away from Amos. He can't pull it in. Incomplete pass. It'll be second down and 10. Spokane back at their own 18-yard line. And when you look at Arvell Nelson in pressure, playing in front of family and friends like he probably is here tonight,
I don't know if there's pressure. I mean, he's probably excited to have all his friends and family here at the game. He's out in Spokane, and that's a long way to get his family out there. You never know how many games they're going to be able to get to flying all the way out to the coast there. But it's exciting, I'm sure, for him to be home.
Nelson to Amos, and then he'll run with it. And he's taken out shy of the first down marker, but he got across midfield. Anthony Amos, a rookie, and he looks like he may have just gotten flagged there for something after the play. As he was stopped shy of the marker, Amos, the leading receiver, over 1,100 yards coming in for Spokane. It set up third and a few, but we'll see what happens here with the flags. So it'll be third down, and it's a penalty after the play. So that'll back Spokane up a little bit. It's going to be third and long now, and just not a smart play if you're Anthony Amos. You had a good pickup, set up third and short, but now it's going to be third and 12 after the 10-yard penalty. Put your team into a tough situation. The Gladiators defense looking to step up once again here. They intercepted a Nelson pass on the first offensive series for Spokane. Nelson throws, and it's batted by Joe Finnis. He got a hand on it, couldn't reel it in. He's going to do some push-ups, but still a big play there to force fourth down and long.
Awful way to start for Spokane, and what a great job by the Glads defense to start this ball game. An interception, turnover on the first drive, and now they're in a position here to get off the field on their second drive.
7:25 to go here in the first quarter. 14-0 Gladiators on top of Spokane. Fourth down and 12 from their own 16. The Spokane Shock have to cash in here. We'll see if they can. Nelson throws, and it's bobbled and incomplete, intended for the 6'7" wide receiver Nick Truesdale. He couldn't reel it in. Good pressure applied. Good coverage from Mario Norman. A turnover on downs, and the Gladiators will bring the offense on once again, now with a chance to take a 3-touchdown lead if they can cash in here.
Now, 2 of those 4 plays, they tried to go after Mario Norman, and that's a bad decision. He had 2 pass breakups on that drive. This is his first game back with the Gladiators and already making an impact early in the football game.
6:56 to go first quarter. 14-0 Gladiators on top of the Shock and looking for more. 3 receivers will be stacked onto the right side with Amari Jackson in motion. Austin drops back to throw, finds Goodman at the 10 to the 5. He's upended there, taken down on a low tackle by Richard Dodd-Masters, but not the Gladiators, down close to the end zone. They'll move it to the 4-yard line. It's first and goal from the 4 now.
Glad's just got to stay aggressive here. They should be smelling blood in the water, being up 14-0, already have 2 turnovers. They've got to get a touchdown here. You go up 21-0, you know, Spokane's going to start thinking about getting back home and thinking about winning this game.
And what else from 4 yards out but Austin to Taylor, the 3rd touchdown catch of the game for Cullen Taylor, and it's 20-0 Gladiators.
This is the Gladiator team we saw last year, Doug. What a great way to start this game. They're confident, they're aggressive, not only offensively but defensively. Everything's clicking right now.
Fans are into it early in this one, and Colin Taylor now 1 touchdown catch away from 40 on the season. Shane Austin came into tonight's game needing 7 to tie his single-season individual record from last season when he threw 99. Came into this one needing 8 touchdown passes to tie John Dutton's team record of 100. So he's getting close from Trevino, drills the extra point. We've got a flag down. 21-0 Gladiators. 5:27 left in the first quarter. And the Gladiators in the driver's seat early. Austin to Taylor once again. Cleveland Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back. 5:27 left in the first quarter. 21-0 Gladiators. Big starts all around for the defense, for Shane Austin, for Colin Taylor. The Gladiators have to like where they are early on in this one. Downstairs now to Kenny Rhoda on the Gladiators bench.
Thanks, Doug. I'm looking at my checklist here. The coach's keys that Steve Tunn gave me before the game. Number one, better pass rush. Check that one off. McGinnis with a nice spin move on that third down play last series on defense. The second thing, he said, hey, we've got to get more than one stop on defense. We've only had one stop in each of our last 4 losses. 2 stops already on defense. The third thing, be more consistent on offense. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. And the fourth thing he told me is watch for us to go long because we expect some man-to-man. That second touchdown pass, long pass, went for 6. Add the extra point, that's 7. That makes it 21-0. They're hitting on all the coaches' keys.
How about that? Everything they laid out for Kenny Rhoda is coming true here, and now it's Amos on the return once again for Spokane. He's tackled around the 12-yard line or so as he's been busy returning the ball early on in this one. 5:16 left in the first. 21-0 Gladiators on top of the Shock. And with that, we will step aside. We'll have a Spokane possession when we come back. Gladiators 21, Spokane nothing. This is Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. .5:16 left here in the first, and the Gladiators a 21-0 lead at home over the Spokane Shock, and all 3 touchdowns have been passes from Shane Austin to Colin Taylor. Folks, get Gladiators score updates, special promotions, and breaking news sent directly to your phone. Text Gladiators to 720-720. Text message and data rates may apply. Gladiators football is presented by Unique Home Solutions. First down and 10 for Spokane, and Nelson finds his man Truesdell up the middle. He breaks a tackle, goes down into the red zone where he's tackled around the 7-yard line or so. So the biggest offensive play so far for the Spokane Shock. 4:53 left in the first. 21-0 Gladiators will be first and goal from the 8 for Spokane. Now Truesdell, if he gets his hands on the ball, 6'7", 240, he's going to be a load to bring down. That was a 30-yard pickup. And for Spokane, they have to score on this drive or things could get out of hand early.
Well, it's already getting out of hand. You're right. They absolutely have to get something going here offensively, and that was a good pickup for them on first down.
A dump off to Amos, and he picks up maybe a yard, not much more. And we've got a little extracurricular away from the play as Dominic Jones seems to be in a bit of a discussion down there in the end zone with Jabin Sambrano. That little dust up is settled down. It's going to be second and goal from the 7-yard line, so a 1-yard pickup for Anthony Amos. 4:06 to go first quarter. 21-0 Gladiators. Spokane with 3 downs to get in the end zone. Nelson drops back, has a little time, throws, and that one is hauled in by Dominic Jones. But what's the ruling here? Well, looks like it's an incomplete pass. The ball may have gone off a fan and back to Dominic Jones. See, the young fan in the yellow shirt may have gone off him. It's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 7. It went off for the couple of kids watching in the front row.
Definitely fan interference, not their fault. I mean, the ball went right to them and their kids. And I can imagine if I'm those kids right there, I'm thinking about getting a souvenir. And, obviously Dominic Jones was right there as well, but
3rd and goal from the 7, and Nelson throws, and we've got a flag down, and the Spokane receiver who was the intended target on that one, it was Amos. He took a little bit of a dive before the ball was in the air. He may have been run into.
Roughing the passer, number 4 on the defense. After this is the goal, automatic first down.
Winds up being roughing the passer against Jeremy Richardson with 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter, so it'll be first and goal from the 3 now for the Gladiators. See Richardson coming in around the outside, and
yeah, took an unnecessary shot on Nelson. He didn't have to do that. He had a free rush to the quarterback, but the problem was the quarterback, Nelson, got rid of the football before he got there.
Well, it's going to be a quick pitch to the fullback. That's a quick Bryson Kelly pitch, and he's not able to get there. No gain on the play. 2.5 minutes to go in the first. 21-0. Spokane comes into this one last in the league in red zone offense, and the only team in the AFL under 70% red zone offense, 68%. So This has been where they've struggled. 2 receivers left side. Arvell Nelson drops back, throws, and it's caught for a Spokane touchdown. And the Shock has gotten on the board here. Jabin Sambrano reels that one in. So Spokane had to score, and they did.
They had to score eventually. You're not going to shut them out. You know that much.
1:57 left in the first, and Arvell Nelson able to find Sambrano for the touchdown. Just got a hair separation away from Dominic Jones there, enough to make the grab, and now the extra point try from Rowan. This one is up and through. And it's 21-7. Gladiators on top of Spokane with 100 seconds to go in the first quarter. 5th touchdown catch of the year for Jabin Sambrano, listed as the number 4 receiver coming in for Spokane. And Colin Taylor, talking about receivers who had big games, Colin Taylor is the man to talk about early on in this one. He's got 3 touchdowns for the Gladiators. That's why they have this 21-7 lead. And the first one, he did a lot of the work right here. Austin dumped it off, and then Taylor at the end of this, as you pointed out earlier, Dustin, carried a defender almost all the way in there. And the next one, he beat everybody long.
And Colin Taylor has been unbelievable tonight. He's on his way to 40 touchdowns on the season. My goodness, you think about back to last year, he was a nice player, but not the impact player that he's been this year. He had 4 touchdowns last week. He's got 3 here in the first quarter. You look at Shane Austin, he's only thrown 5 passes. 4 of them have went to Colin Taylor, and 3 of them have been touchdowns.
How about the efficiency so far for the Gladiators? Virtually perfect on offense. And Taylor, 4 catches for 64 yards, 16 yards per catch average early on in this one. So Taylor continues to post the big numbers in the receiving game for the Gladiators. And again, as you mentioned, it's been a great story. He's now gone over the 1,400-yard plateau, well over it. So his next stop is going to be the 1,500-yard plateau, which got 3 quarters and change left in this one. Wouldn't rule it out for this evening, as the Gladiators offense has come out clicking here tonight. 21-7 Gladiators in front, though, after that last Spokane drive. 5 plays, 38 yards for the Shock. They wound up in the end zone and got on the board for the first time tonight. Here's the kickoff coming from Rowan, and it's going to be a long one. This one will reach the netting. Takes a bounce, and Amari Jackson has it. He'll try to work out of the end zone. Breaks 1 tackle. He's forced off to the far side. Stood up around the 10-yard line. It looks like that's where the forward progress will end, as Jackson finally taken down by a whole slew of Spokane special teamers that come racing in with 1:24 to go here in the first quarter. 21-7. Gladiators on top of the Shock. The Gladiators 7-9. Spokane 6-10. The Gladiators have lost 4 straight. Spokane winners of 2 straight games. The Gladiators can clinch a playoff spot if they can win here this evening, and right now doing everything they need to do in order to make that happen. This Gladiators drive is going to start off bag thrown 11-yard line. They'll go left to right. It's 1st down and 10 with a minute to go here in the opening quarter. 2 receivers right side. Make it 3 as Theron Lewis heads over to join Taylor and Goodman. Austin pumps, throws for Lewis, and it's juggled and incomplete. Looked like the defender, McMillan, may have gotten a hand up there. May have gone off Lewis as well, and then it went off a fan on the front row and ultimately fell incomplete. So 2nd down and 10 with 38 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. Gladiators back thrown 11-yard line, going left to right. So Austin trying to get Lewis into the groove here early on. He's found Taylor on 4 passes. He's completed 1 to Dominic Goodman. Gladiators 21 points on the board. Hasn't taken many plays for them offensively to get to that point early on. 2 receivers right side. Here's Austin. Back to throw. Looks for Taylor, and he overshot him there. It'll be 3rd down and 10 as the final seconds of quarter number 1 will take away. 21-7 Gladiators leading after 1 stanza here tonight at the Q. And they'll be looking at a 3rd down and 10 situation from their own 11-yard line when we come back. So 1 quarter down, the Gladiators have to like where they are. 3 touchdowns for Colin Taylor highlight what was a nice first quarter for the Cleveland Gladiators. Folks, this is Cleveland Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. Bells back, set to go here for the second quarter from the Q. 21-7. Gladiators on top of Spokane. Let's go to Kenny Rowe, a third member of our broadcast team.
Yeah, down here on the field as this play is about to develop, guys. And we'll see what happens with this play. And then I've got a very special guest, Phil Steele, who's one of the top college football analysts out there. Phil is in the stands here, and he actually does some work for the Arena Football League in the power rankings. And Phil, thanks for joining us here. Tell me a little bit about your arena stuff first.
You know, they have a weekly poll for the Arena Football, and they asked me to vote on it. So I do power ratings for Arena Football every week. I've been following. 2 weeks ago, a lot of upsets in Arena Football, but it's a fun league to follow.
The Gladiators win tonight. They're in the playoffs. They'd play Philadelphia. Philadelphia, the top team, you think?
Yeah, I've got them about the second best team, and they're playing good ball down the stretch. Them and Arizona are probably the two toughest teams out there.
What about college-wise? Are the Buckeyes the #1 team in the country going into the season?
They're going to be pretty much a consensus #1 heading into the year. When the AP poll comes out, you'll see almost every single voter. They've got the talent and the schedule to run the table.
What about the 4 suspensions? How will that affect that first game against Virginia Tech?
You know, Virginia Tech's loaded. Bud Foster has got an excellent defense. They've got a good offense. Enter Sandman. It's a Monday Night Football for Virginia Tech. Buckeyes will still win it, but it'll be a good game.
Good to see you, Phil.
Same here, Kenny.
Thanks very much, Kenny and Phil downstairs, and a pass over the middle to Theron Lewis on 3rd down and 5 is good for a first down and more to the 20-yard line. So a good pickup for the Gladiators after a penalty. Took 3rd and 10 to 3rd and 5, and then they get the first down to Lewis. So a nice toss over the middle. And
I'm excited to hear Phil Steele talk about the Buckeyes.
Good to hear from Phil Steele.
Confident.
Yeah, good to hear from Phil Steele downstairs. And I have the college football guide. The
I
amount
do
of
too.
information in there is incredible.
Doug, I just did the MAC Media Day up in Detroit a couple days ago, and that thing is the Bible. Phil Steele's guide is the Bible for college football. It's amazing, and it's good to hear from him. And in fact, I didn't know he was doing some arena coverage, so that's pretty cool to see him voting in the media poll as well.
PK Manley on the carry, and the ball came loose, but it looks like he's ruled down before the ball came out. So it'll be.
The field was that the runner was down before he fumbled the ball. 2nd down.
It'll be 2nd down and 5, and a 5-yard pickup for PK Manley, who came into this season having carried the ball just 8 times. So a change of pace play there. And it looks like this thing may be reviewed. 13:27 left in the second. 21-7, Gladiators on top of the Spokane Shock. And if you're the Spokane Shock right now, you obviously want this thing to get reviewed because you're looking for any kind of a spark or turnaround you can get. And they're going to take a further look at this one as Manley was the ball carrier. And sometimes the risk you run when you have some of the fullbacks in this league who may not have grown up running backs. They may be converted offensive linemen. You look at Manley, a guy who's done a heck of a job this season, but mostly in a blocking role. Comes in, change of pace, and the ball's in his hand. And a little tough to tell from that angle. There was some traffic in front of PK Manley. And
well, they're just not used to carrying the ball, you know, and they're big dudes. And obviously there's a reason why you give them the football, because they're hard to bring down, especially in short yardage situations. But you take a look, I mean, he's got the big offensive lineman gloves on, and you know they're just not used to it.
He's played some games at center for the Gladiators this season, so he's done a heck of a job this season, and really one of those unsung type guys that doesn't always get the glory, but certainly instrumental on every Gladiators offensive series, and especially in a blocking role and providing that protection. And coming into this game, Shane Austin, not talking about just PK Manley, but the whole offensive line coming into this game, Shane Austin's been sacked just 10 times on the year. So that group has done a great job protecting Shane Austin and the ball carriers out of the backfield this season. 13:27 left in the second. 21-7, Gladiators on top of Spokane. The officials taking a look. And a play in which the ball came out of the hands of PK Manley. And the initial ruling on the field is that Manley was down, and that would make it 2nd and 5. But if the play is reversed, it'll be Spokane football. We'll wait and see. 13:27 left in the second. Gladiators trying to get to 8 and 9, but most importantly trying to clinch a playoff spot with a victory. Overhead view. Manley got to about the 15-yard line. He was hit from down low and then hit from up top as well. And you try to find out where exactly that ball came free. And I think Manley was down. I think they had the initial call right.
I think he was down. It's tough to tell from the angles that we've seen. And with that being said, I think it's going to be tough to overturn this call. This should be Gladiators football.
Well, our officials have come out. We'll have a verdict on the situation.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. The runner was down. Spokane has been charged their first timeout.
So Spokane charged a timeout. If you're the Spokane Shock and their head coach, Andy Olson, it's really a roll of the dice you have to take. At this point, we were down by a couple of touchdowns, and the Gladiators looking for more. It'll be second down and 5. Gladiators maintain possession. 13:27 left here in the second. 21-7 Gladiators with the advantage. To the 15-yard line. They're going right to left here in the early stages of the second quarter. Austin with 2 receivers to his left. Dominic Goodman's the motion guy in the slot. Austin drops back. He's going to throw. Tosses for Goodman. Up to make the grab. And off his hands and incomplete. Goodman laid out for that one. Put his body on the line. Went right into those end boards, those corner boards. And just couldn't come up with the ball. Did what he could to try and make the grab.
Shane Austin puts us about the only place that Dominic Goodman could get it in. Yeah, I give Goody a lot of credit. The route was beautiful. He puts a move on McMillan right at the top of his route, breaks it off to that corner, right to the back of the end zone, and Austin puts it right there. I know it's a difficult catch to make, but that's got to be made.
3 receivers left side. Austin on third down and 5 is going to throw. Looks for Lewis. Has him first down. And then Lewis angled to the sideboards around the 5-yard line. So it's going to be first down and goal for the Gladiators, needing about 5 to get into the end zone. 12:34 to go here in the second. And the Gladiators up 14. Lewis, this season for the Gladiators, 14 catches. Rejoined the Gladiators. Missed a little bit of time with injury, but back in there. Now 3 receivers loaded to the left. First and goal from the 4 is where they spot the ball. Manley in the backfield. On first down, Austin sees some pressure coming. Throws. It's incomplete. Flag down. And this one could benefit the Gladiators.
Yeah, you're going to get a pass interference call on this one.
Dominic Goodman was...
Sergio Gilliam was grabbing Goody.
Holding. Defense, number 9. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
And maybe that's something you see moving ahead in this when the Gladiators get Spokane into a hole early, and you may see the Shock get a little desperate at times. Maybe on a play like that where Gilliam grabs Dominic Goodman before the ball's even on the scene, a play where you can see some of that desperation starting to peek through. 11:55 to go here in the second. Austin, a pitch to Jeremy Richardson, and he got maybe a yard but didn't get all the way in. Spokane defenders trying to knock the ball loose, no doubt about that. They were going right at that football.
Well, it looked like for a second that Richardson was just going to walk into the end zone. They had everybody moving to the left. Colin Taylor has his guy blocked, but he actually blocks McMillan into Jeremy Richardson. That was the problem. Otherwise, he probably would have walked into the end zone.
Jeremy Richardson, usually the guy they go to when they keep it on the ground in close. Didn't get it in there that time. Second and goal from the 1 coming. And will we see Shane Austin trying to pound through the line here? He likes to do that when his number's called. And it looked like Austin may have been rolling right on that play, but flags won't allow it to take off. The whistle blows.
Offense, number 10. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, we talk about that no man's land sometimes. When you get too close to the end zone, it changes the playbook a little bit in the arena game. But when you get to that point where you're a yard out, it's first or second down, it's, you're going to pound it in there eventually. So this does hurt the Gladiators a little bit in a way, but in some ways it expands the playbook.
If you're going to throw, it helps you because it gives you more room to work. That end zone's 8 yards. So now that they're out to the 6, they've got 14 yards to work.
So Austin on second and goal throws for the end zone. It's away from Taylor, and there's no flag down, so third and goal coming. And you can see right now this Gladiators offense, not only is it confident, but it seems to be overmatching the defensive backfield of Spokane quite a bit. They don't seem to have an answer, and right now it almost looks like Spokane, they're just counting the seconds until they can try and get out of this, but the Gladiators offense with the upper hand. 10-13 left here in the second. 21-7. Gladiators on top of the Spokane Shock, and the Gladiators trying to get that 3-score lead back. 3 receivers right side. Austin on third and goal. Pressure coming. He's wrapped up and taken down around the 15-yard line. A sack by the back linebacker, Derek Summers. And he's tough to deal with, one of the top defenders on the Spokane side. He comes up with potentially the biggest defensive play for Spokane in the game, because what that does is now force the Gladiators into a field goal situation. Looks like the field goal unit coming on, as it would be 4th and goal from the 14-yard line. Steve Tunn wants to get the points.
And he also wants to make it a 3-score game, because they're up 14 right now. 17 will make it 3 scores, and they're in a position to kick. A lot of times you won't see teams this early go after the 3 points, but the Glads will do it.
Good snap, good hold, and the kick from Trevino is also good. 24-7 Gladiators on top of Spokane. 9:16 left here in the second quarter, and that'll send us off to our next commercial break, folks. This is Cleveland Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WUAB 92.3 The Fan. Spokane, maybe a little bit of a victory for their defense to hold the Gladiators to just 3 points on that last drive. Let's not forget the Gladiators were just a yard away from the end zone on 2nd down, but due to a penalty and then a quarterback sack, they were backed up. The Gladiators did, though, get the points to make it a 3-score game once again.
Yeah, I think the Shock are probably happier about that drive than the Glads are. Obviously, you want to get some points. That's critical every drive. But being that close and then not coming away with 7 is a little bit unfortunate, but you think about how this game has started, it has been all Gladiators. This game's like a basketball game. There's ebbs and flows. There's momentum shifts throughout it, and it's kind of a game of runs, and we'll see what happens here and see if the Glads defense can bow up again and get the football back and try and extend this lead.
Always becomes a subplot late in the half. Spokane does get the ball to start the second half, so we'll monitor how the possession battle is going to shake out. A bounce off the iron on the kickoff, and this one is going to be brought out to the lip of the end zone, but not out of the end zone by the return man, Richard Dodd-Masters, and Spokane, as a result, will have a touchback. And with 9:05 left in the second, 24-7, Gladiators on top of the Shock. And the Spokane offense making its way back onto the field. It's been a little bit of a rough start in the hometown of Arvell Nelson, the Spokane quarterback. Nelson, 5 of 10 for 56 yards, a touchdown, and a pick.
You brought up the fact that he's a Cleveland kid playing here. You wonder if maybe those nerves are getting to him a little bit early. See if he settles down.
2 receivers right side, and he had a deflected ball and a thunderous hit applied by Dominic Jones, who is potentially flagged here. There's a flag on the field, and shaken up was Javen Sambrano.
Dominic Jones is upset here because he thinks they're going to get him for pass interference, but that's not what they're going to call. I think they're going to get him for unnecessary roughness on the wide receiver over the middle. Yes, the ball was tipped, which would eliminate the pass interference, but yes, I think they're going to get him with an unnecessary roughness penalty. He hits the back of his receiver coming over the middle.
A couple things on that after the ruling here.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 2. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's an automatic first down and a 10-yard penalty, but that tells me a couple things. Number 1, that's Dominic Jones at home making a statement play in his game, and I'm willing to live with those penalties a little bit, because when Dominic Jones throws a hit like that, whether he's flagged or not, that's going to have receivers looking over their shoulder all evening long. What that also tells you is that Dominic Jones is feeling some comfort with Mario Norman back out there to jump in and lay that hit. 2 receivers right side. Arvell Nelson for the Truesdale up the near side. He's angled to the boards, and now some more contact. Norman and Truesdale into a bit of a dispute as they're in each other's faces, and, well, everything seems to be settled down. It's a little pickup from Truesdale. We'll have the yardage here in just a moment. Second now coming for Spokane. Down to the field, Kenny Rhoda.
Joined here, Adrian Trevino, place kicker for the Gladiators. 7 for 7 now on the season, Adrian. What's been the key on the field goals?
Just working hard, practicing, working on my technique. These guys really pushed me, put the pressure on me at practice to do a great job. So if it wasn't for these guys, the O-line, my snapper, my holder, Coach Gus, they're helping me out every day at practice. So thanks to them, we were able to have the success we have this season.
We don't get to talk to kickers a lot, so how tough is it with the smaller goalposts, the closer together goalposts?
It's tough. I mean, you see those NFL guys, they don't want to do those 9 feet wide goalposts, but You know, it's arena football. It's fun. It's exciting. I love the challenge, and these guys are pumped up out here today, so this is really good for us.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Another unsung hero. The Gladiators doing a heck of a job as that man, Adrian Trevino, this season. Little dump off here to Zambrano, who leans ahead. He's not going to have enough for that first down. Fourth down and short coming up, and Mario Norman laid the hit that brought that sequence to a halt, and he's had a heck of a game. And you can see the physicality really picking up in this football game as we've moved along. And he's been in the middle of it, throwing some big hits on defense. Had a nice tackle right there.
He's been all over the field. Obviously, we knew he'd make an impact coming back, but you didn't necessarily know how it'd be felt and how soon it would happen, and it has happened very, very early in this ball game.
4th and 2 for Spokane, and they get it and more. Zambrano leans ahead to the Gladiators 21 as Spokane's going left to right, so they get what they needed, and then a couple of more for the first down. And Spokane crosses midfield. They're moving the chains, and that was another pivotal play for Spokane. You look back to their scoring drive earlier on. They had to score there, and they did. And you look at that play right there. If they had turned it over on downs, another one of those situations where things could have really gotten away from Spokane. Gladiators in the driver's seat, but Spokane is still hanging around here a little bit. 2 receivers right side. Nelson over the middle, and it's behind Truesdale, who got a hand on it, but it falls incomplete. Dominic Jones on the coverage for the Gladiators with 6:08 to go in the second. It'll be 2nd down and 10. So Spokane to the 21-yard line of the Gladiators, and hasn't exactly been precise for Spokane as this thing's rolled along, but you can see them getting a little bit more comfortable.
Oh, they're still in the game.
Picking up yardage anyway. 2 receivers right side. Nelson quickly to Zambrano, and that's incomplete, but that's one that Zambrano knows he's got to pull in, and he was unable to do it.
Well, you brought it up earlier, Doug. Zambrano coming over the middle, and he takes that hit earlier from Dominic Jones, and the exact same thing happens again. Guess what he does? He drops a pass that he should have caught, because I believe that Dominic Jones, by taking that early lick, yes, it was a penalty. I didn't think it was egregious, but it sent a message.
So now 5:14 left in the second, 3rd and 10. Anthony Amos in motion to the right, and as Nelson drops back, throws for Truesdale, and he was not on the same page as Truesdale with that one. Nelson's throw went in the direction of Truesdale, who was still running away from the football. It's going to be 4th down and 10 for Spokane.
Well, this is a lot different than that last 4th and 1 they had. 4th and 10s are tough to come by in the arena game. Now the Glad's got to be feeling it. The crowd's starting to get into it, and I would imagine those 3 guys up front are going to be chomping at the bit to try and get after Arvell Nelson here.
Spokane 40.9% on 4th down this season. That's 8th in the league. Amos in motion again. Nelson drops back, throws for Amos. He's got it, and he has the first down, and he's going to lean toward the end zone, and it looks like it's a Spokane touchdown. Now we've got a flag thrown as Mario Norman and Anthony Amos got into a little bit of a shouting match, and we've seen no shortage of that as the game has worn on. So Anthony Amos, the leading receiver for Spokane, on the receiving end of that one, and he made the grab that was more than enough for a first down, and then was able to get the rest of it for 6.
The game, the touchdown's going to stand, but it's going to be an after the touchdown penalty.
Touchdown was good. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 5. That penalty will be assessed after the kickoff.
That's the second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the game for the receiver, Anthony Amos. You remember back in the first quarter he had one. And well, here's the extra point try from Taylor Rowan, trying to make it a 10-point game. He boots it through. It's good, and it's a 24-14 game now. Gladiators still in front here with 4:04 to go in the second. We'll step aside, folks. This is Cleveland Gladiators football, presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WUAB and 92.3 The Fan. .com. Hard to believe it's already August 1st, and it won't be long before the ice will be down and we will be playing hockey here, and the Lake Erie Monsters will be out there starting another season.
I can't believe it's August, Doug. I mean, where has the summer gone? Yeah, before you know it, it'll be, as you say, hockey season here and NFL season in Cleveland.
Kickoff, and there won't be a return as Amari Jackson was waiting for that one, but went right through those center uprights. On a play, it's a souvenir, and Before this next Gladiators possession, we'll have ourselves an official timeout, folks. Gladiators a 24-14 lead with 3:58 to go here in the second. This is Cleveland Gladiators football, presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan.
Back here at Quicken Loans Arena, the Gladiators with a 24-14 lead, and the football here was just in the huddle with head coach Steve Tunn listening in. Guys, look for a quick hitter on this first play, a slant over the middle. If that's not there to Jackson, CT is probably going to be the outlet guy here, so see if they get something quick and then get some yards after the catch.
Well, Kenny, we'll see how it pans out here, and the Gladiators start this drive, first down at 10. At the 15-yard line, there was some penalty yardage to assess after the kickoff return, so that's why the Gladiators out to the 15-yard line, leading 24-14. And Shane Austin, 7 of 11, 100 yards, 3 touchdowns so far, so very sharp. The Gladiators, going into this game, if somebody said first 4 drives, 3 touchdowns and a field goal, I think you'd take that every time out. You want to score on every drive, and the Gladiators put points up on every drive.
Hey, no turnovers, that's a win. And the way that they played offensively, I mean, you got to be thrilled. Austin's been very efficient.
Certainly has so far. Just 11 passes so far in the game and 24 points on the board. Inside 4 minutes to go here in the half. Austin drops back, throws. Amari Jackson, and that one is knocked away over the middle. And the Gladiators fortunate Spokane's not coming away with the football.
Yeah, that wasn't knocked away. That was almost intercepted.
And it was Sergio Gilliam, former Pittsburgh Power, on the breakup.
Comes right over the middle. In fact, Amari Jackson cut in front of Gilliam at the last second, and it looked like he was going to have an easy reception, and then Gilliam ends up almost having an interception. Glads are lucky to have this one back.
Second 10 from the 15. Gladiators right to left. 24-14. Gladiators in front. 3:15 to go here in the second quarter. 2 receivers left side. Shane Austin dropping back. He's going to throw, and it's too high for Colin Taylor, and incomplete. 3rd and 10 coming for the Gladiators. 3:05 to go here in the second, and the Gladiators up 10.
All of a sudden now on this drive, look like the offense is just lacking a little bit of confidence here. And Austin, who's been really efficient, as we just mentioned his numbers as we came back from break, he's now been off in those last 2 throws.
Well, Spokane comes in giving up more points than anybody in the league on average at 54.9, but you look at some of the numbers of those defensive backs. McMillan has 5 interceptions on the year. Sergio Gilliam's a solid defensive back, so there is talent in that defensive backfield. 3 receivers right side. Austin on 3rd and 10. Throws, and it's broken up, and the Gladiators facing their first pressure situation of the game now. 4th down and 10 after that pass over the middle. Dominic Goodman didn't work out.
And this is a big 4th down because if they don't get it, you look at where they're at in terms of field position. Spokane's going to be right back in, nearly inside the red zone here to end the first half.
And Spokane's looking at this as a chance to cancel out that interception from earlier on. Austin started 5 of 5, 2 of 9 throwing the ball since, so Spokane clamping down a little bit. It'll be 2 receivers on the left side of Austin, 4th down and 10. Austin dropping back, has time, has to scramble, and he's caught up 2 stretches, and I don't think he got there. He's going to be close, but I don't think he got there.
No, he's short, and there was nearly a horse collar.
That was close as well.
Very close to a horse collar on Spokane, but they're not going to get it. They apparently going to say he just had the jersey of Shane Austin at the end of this play.
About a yard short, so a good scramble from Austin, but you could see Taylor let up on what could have been a horse collar tackle just in time.
And the problem with that play is that Austin scrambled to his left. He's a right-handed quarterback, so it was going to be difficult for him. All his receivers were on the right side of the line of scrimmage, so he really didn't have a lot of options, so he had to run with it.
So biggest drive of the game now for Spokane with 2 receivers on the left side, and Arvell Nelson tosses out to the left, and Sambrano makes the catch right at the line of scrimmage, and Mario Norman stops him in his tracks. Mario Norman hasn't let much get behind him so far in this first half, in his first game back with the Gladiators since the end of last year's regular season.
No, he has been an absolute beast in this game tonight.
1 minute left in the half, and you know what that means? 1 minute warning time. Here at the Q, Spokane with the ball, 24-14. Gladiators in front of the Spokane Shock. Spokane driving 2nd and 10. When we come back, it's Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. 14 is the score. Gladiators on top of the Spokane Shock, and Spokane forced to turn over on downs. that ended the last Gladiators drive. Shane Austin scrambled on 4th and 10, got close, couldn't get all the way there. And now it's Spokane with the ball. First play of the drive was a pass to the left to Sembrano for no gain. As far as Spokane goes in this one, Arvell Nelson's 11 of 19, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns passing. He's also been intercepted. He's worked 4 different receivers into the act here. And the offense and defense getting ready to go here. Mario Norman had the stop on the first play of the series. 2 receivers right side, 2nd and 10 coming. Arvell Nelson, the quarterback, throws left, and it's hauled in for a first down. Making the catch along the left side boards, Rashad Carter. And now Spokane in that tough situation. 56.4 seconds left. They get the first down, but we're at a point now where if they score, the Gladiators are going to have a chunk of clock left to work with here.
Yeah, there's plenty of time left, and this final minute could take 20 minutes of real time because the clock stops, obviously.
It's going to be a handoff to Kelly, the fullback, and he's going to be stopped in his tracks, and we may have a timeout being called here. 50.3 seconds to go in the second quarter. Gladiators by 10. Spokane trying to carve into that. So the Gladiators use a timeout. They've got 2 left. Spokane's got 2 left. They burned their first timeout when they challenged a ruling on the field earlier on in the football game, and they didn't overturn the call after the challenge, so they were charged a timeout as a result. Gladiators assistant head coach and defensive coordinator Ron James going over things with his group. Gladiators trying to clinch a playoff spot if they can get a win here tonight. 2nd and 8 for Arvell Nelson and his group. 2 receivers to the right, and Nelson finds one of them, Anthony Amos, up the right side. He's angled to the boards, shy of the 5-yard line by who else but Mario Norman.
But good news for the Glads, he does go out of bounds, and that'll stop the clock, allowing the Glads to save a timeout here.
They do save the timeout. The Gladiators need to win one of the last 2 games to get in. They could take care of that tonight. They're 7 and 9. They won't catch Philadelphia. Philadelphia will be the team the Gladiators will play in round 1 if they're able to sew up a playoff spot. Orlando and Jacksonville, the other 2 teams that are playoff bound. 2 receivers left side. Nelson scrambles left, tries to take off, and he's taken down by Willie McGinnis. And Spokane will have to burn a timeout.
You wonder if they decide.
Or the Gladiators perhaps burn a timeout here.
The Glads will take their second timeout. You wonder if Spokane's thinking maybe they go for 3 here and kick a field goal and try and cut it to 7, knowing they get the football back to the second half.
40 seconds to go. 4th down coming. And Spokane needs 3 yards for a first down. They're at the 6-yard line. Willie McGinnis, nice stop there. We talked about him in our lead in and mentioned those guys on the defensive front. Going to be a factor tonight. Willie McGinnis made a nice play. It'll be 4th down and 3, and it looks like Andy Olson's team is going to stick with the offense here. You wonder if they'll try and run the play clock down and then rethink it. They still have timeouts to play with. 2 receivers right side, 1 in the backfield, and they're going to run a play here. It's going to be a pass. Nelson is going to have to scramble, throws for the end zone, and it's incomplete. Mario Norman was right there, and he thought he picked it up, but it's an incomplete pass, and the Gladiators take over on downs.
They'll actually end up gaining about 4 yards out of this because it would have been a touchback. So the no interception is fine.
Helps the Gladiators a little bit.
It helps the Gladiators, absolutely.
And the Gladiators respond after they turn it over on downs. They force Spokane to do the same thing, and essentially no harm done.
There's really nowhere for Arvell Nelson to throw, and he scrambles up inside the pocket, and he's thinking he's not going to make it to the end zone, and so he just throws back across his body trying to find somebody in the end zone, and obviously Norman and company there.
33.7 seconds on the clock. Gladiators offense on the field. And Austin throws for Taylor. He's got it. He's taken down around the Gladiators' 20-yard line by McMillan. And the Gladiators pick up the first down and more. They're up 10, 26.6 seconds to go here in the second.
Cleveland. That is the third and final timeout of the half.
Gladiators.
30-second timeout.
No timeouts left.
So what that tells me is now everything's going to be working towards the sideline or to the end zone, because you can't afford to work over the middle of the field, allowing a lot of clock to go. Only 26 seconds to go here in the first half.
Spokane does take over after halftime, so the Gladiators, almost imperative that they score on this drive. 2 receivers left side for Shane Austin, the quarterback. 1 man in the backfield, and Austin looks left, then heaves it down the sidelines to an open Colin Taylor, and he's got it! His 4th receiving touchdown of the first half, and the Gladiators take a 30-14 lead, and that's 40 touchdown catches on the year for Colin Taylor.
4 touchdown receptions in this first half for Colin Taylor. In this play right here, Colin Taylor's just going to be working on the outside here. Almost a double move and out and up. And someone in the back end, maybe Ben McMillan there, just gets lost. It's like a wheel and out and up and wide open for an easy touchdown. Now, the interesting thing here, Doug, is that there is still 21 seconds left and 2 timeouts for the Shock, so this is nowhere near from going to halftime yet.
Trevino for the extra point. And he drills it. It's like clockwork with Adrian Trevino on the extra points. He nailed that one. 31-14 Gladiators, 21.3 seconds to go here in the half. And as you said, still certainly time for the Spokane Shock to work with here. 21.3 seconds. They'll have to return the kickoff and then go to work from there. Downstairs now, Kenny Rhoda with Shane Austin.
Shane Austin with 4 touchdown passes in the first half, all to Colin Taylor. What's been the key with CT today?
He's just getting open. I try not to, have any favorites out there, but it's just what the play develops and how it works, and he's getting open, he's making plays for us, and I'm just trying to get the guy who's open with the ball.
Coach told me before the game that you guys would probably see more man-to-man than the zone you've seen in the last 3 or 4 games. Are you getting that out there?
Yeah, we're getting pretty much what we've seen on film. A lot of man, and it's it just comes down to us executing and beating their man one-on-one.
Yeah. And Coach also said, I was in the huddle there, he said, look, this is what we want to run, but if it's not there, throw it away. It was there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't throwing that one away. Those are the scary ones. It's like a wide open layup in basketball. You got to make sure you just get it to them. Don't overthrow it, just put it right to it. So we got it, so I'm glad.
I think that's 40 touchdown grabs for him this year. Did you ever think of that before the season? He'd have 40 TDs?
I knew he had it in him. It's just a matter of, going out there and doing it. He's been blessed. He's been doing a great job, working hard, and, it's just a tribute to his hard work.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Guys, up to you.
And the kickoff from Trevino, brought on by Amos out of the end zone, and he's going to be taken down around the 22-yard line or so. A nice return for him. There are only 14.7 seconds left for Spokane here, and they do have 2 timeouts, so the Shock certainly have some time to try and put something together.
Yeah, that was a great return for them. Allows their offense to be set up out near midfield. Probably gives them maybe 3 shots here at the end zone, considering the fact that they do have a couple of timeouts left.
All 4 of Shane Austin's touchdowns to Colin Taylor so far in the game. Arvell Nelson and company, 1st and 10 from their own 22. Over the middle to Amos. He makes the grab. He will have the first down. Dominic Jones forced him back a little bit. 8.8 seconds on the clock, second quarter. And we'll see how the Spokane Shock manage things now. Nelson went over the middle to Amos, who's, again, the leading receiver for Spokane, came into this one with over 1,100 yards.
Now, Doug, this certainly is field goal territory for Spokane because they're down 17 here. They get the football in their second half here, so they want to try and make this a 2-score game.
And Spokane just got a second put back on the clock, which, again, that may give them the ability to run 3 plays depending on how things go. 9.8 on the clock. 31-14 Gladiators, and if they can keep Spokane off the board for these final 9.8 seconds of the half, certainly be nice going into halftime. 2 receivers right side. Arvell Nelson tosses to the end zone, and that one is away from any possible target. 6 seconds to go here in the second quarter. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 16 for Spokane. 31-14 Gladiators. Arvell Nelson Put that one over everyone.
Well, just to put it out there, Taylor Rowan, their kicker, is 3 for 8 on field goal attempts this season.
3 receivers right side. Spokane would prefer 6 over 3. A pass to the end zone and off the hands of Amos and incomplete. And the Gladiators breathe a sigh of relief. And Amos knows he's got to make that grab. Now 2 seconds remain. And you can see Andy Olson, the head coach of Spokane, shaking his head after that.
Boy, this is a strike from Marvell Nelson right between 2 defenders.
It's a perfect throw.
Perfect throw. Oh, my goodness. Amos is going to be kicking himself over that one.
So 2 seconds. This, in all likelihood, the final play of the half, and Spokane down 31-14 with the ball here. And again, the Gladiators know they got away with one right there. 31-14. Gladiators in front. Spokane will get the ball to start the second half, so they're looking for momentum going into halftime, knowing they're going to get the ball. The Gladiators looking for the stop, knowing Spokane's going to have another shot coming right out of halftime.
Want to be careful. Remember, the half will not end on a penalty.
So you want to make sure you legally defend this thing.
I mean, you want to interfere if you have to. You don't want to give up a touchdown, but you do want to be careful if it's a play that obviously you don't have to be aggressive on.
Receivers loaded to the right. Marvell Nelson sees things collapse. He's hit, and there's that penalty flag, Dustin. Coming in right as the ball was thrown, so we'll see what it's called for here. If it's against the Gladiators, we're going to have another play. Mike Alston was the man who got the pressure on Marvell Nelson, and he's fired up, to say the least.
He's losing his mind right now, excited about it.
Holding, offense number 51. That penalty's been declined. That is the end of the first half.
And the Gladiators decline, and you can see the Gladiators coaches, they like what they're seeing, as the Gladiators hold a 31-14 lead here at halftime. So a big first half for the Gladiators, and let's go downstairs. Kenny Rhoda is joined by the man who had maybe the biggest first half of anybody, Colin Taylor.
Indeed, 4 touchdown grabs in the first half. Colin, what's been the key with you and Shane tonight?
We're rolling, you know, and the thing about our offense is if it's not me, it's Amari Jackson. If it's not Amari, it's Goody. If it's not Goody, it's T-Lou. Anybody can do it, you know what I mean? But I've been in the right place at the right time. Shane's found me, and we're rolling. We're going to try to keep it going. 31 points in the first half is good, but we're not satisfied. We're going to try to score every time in the second half.
What was the key to the quick start today, 21-0?
Yeah, we saw some weaknesses in their defense we wanted to expose. We worked on a lot of stuff during this week of practice. Coach Chun keeps us in the film room a lot, so we knew what we were getting coming out. It's just about players doing their job, not trying to do too much. Everybody does their job, we'll be successful.
Offense doing their job, 31 points. What's it mean to get Mario Norman back on defense? A great first half for the D, too.
Oh, are you kidding me? Just from the moment Mario walked back into the facility, everybody's confidence went up, our swagger went up. I mean, you're seeing the Cleveland Gladiators defense of last year. 14 points and a half is pretty tough to do here in the Arena Football League. We love having Mario back. You just see him out there dancing. He brings the energy. It's exciting to watch him play, and our defense is back.
Safe to say the no-fly zone's back?
You could definitely say that. No fly zone. Love that.
That last one, I was talking to Shane about it. He said it's like a wide open layup in basketball. You don't want to underthrow it and you don't want to drop it. How tough is that one to grab?
Yeah, well, you're exactly right. We beat him on a good double move on a fake screen, and it was one of those where I got open. I was hoping he'd just punt it to me, make it nice and easy. You get a little nervous when the ball's in the air for, what feels like 30 seconds, but fortunately he dropped it right into my hands and we could celebrate in the end zone.
Great first half. Don't stop there, though.
You got it. Thanks, Ken.
Colin Taylor with a huge first half. 4 touchdown catches, 40 touchdown grabs on the year, 31-14, the Gladiators with the lead. This is Cleveland Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WUAB and 92.3 The Fan.
Welcome back. Almost time for the second half here at the Q. 31-14, Gladiators on top of the Spokane Shock after what was a very good first half for the Gladiators. Now let's send it downstairs to the third member of our broadcast team, Kenny Rhoda.
Guys, I just talked with head coach Steve Tunn. I said, what was the message to your team? You're up 17 at halftime, but what did you tell the guys? He said, look, we got to play 2 halves. one half's not enough, and that's been part of the problem this season. He also said we have to finish strong. We've got to keep our foot on the gas. Don't let up. And the other thing he said, we got to dominate both lines of scrimmage. If we do that, we'll be okay.
Thanks very much, Kenny, and that is a big thing for the Gladiators, finishing out the game. As we see so much in the Arena Football League, finishing out the game is almost more important than the other 58, 59 minutes that go into it with what can happen late in football games. So the Gladiators look to finish this thing out. They lead 31-14 at the half. The Gladiators, 6 possessions so far, 4 touchdowns, a field goal. They were stopped on downs once. They'll be kicking it away to Spokane. They've had the ball 6 times. They have 2 touchdowns, an interception, stopped on downs twice, then the half ended. The other time they had football. So that's what Spokane has looked like offensively so far in this one. 31-14. It's the Gladiators on top of the Spokane Shock. And Trevino will kick it from our right down to our left, where Anthony Amos awaits off the low iron. He'll bring that one in. And out of the end zone he comes on his feet, reaches, and a flag is down. Amari Jackson in on the tackle in the Spokane offense, coming onto the field to get things going. They're looking for a big second half, 10 seconds into this third quarter.
Return, holding, Spokane, number 2. Half the distance the goal, first down.
So a holding call back Spokane up to the 3-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. They'll go left to right. Gladiators defense had a very nice first half of play. Doug Plagans, Dustin Fox up top. Downstairs is Kenny Rhoda. Arvell Nelson and company. Spokane offense on. 1st and 10 and a quick pass, and that one is incomplete. And really no excuse for Rashad Carter there. That was off his fingertips and incomplete, and that's been some of the problem for Spokane tonight. We've seen just about every receiver for Spokane drop the ball at least once.
Well, think about it. I mean, this game could easily be 31-21 right now. Yeah, there was a drop by Amos right there with about 2 seconds to go in the first half. So this game is, could be very different right now.
Early here in the second half, the ball's on the ground. A fumble by the quarterback. It's picked up by Joe Finnessy to the end zone for Gladiators touchdown. They caught up to Arvell Nelson in the end zone. He carelessly put the ball on the turf. Finnessy picked it up, and into the end zone he went. Randy Calling a little slow to get up for the Gladiators, but he's back on his feet. He'll walk it off. And the Gladiators get a huge start to this second half. 37-14 Gladiators.
Beautiful, beautiful way to start the second half. And a really good job by Finnessy. Those are tough to scoop and score. When the football's on the turf like that, sometimes you'll try and pick it up and end up kicking it or something. So that was a really athletic play by him, and the defense needed it. That's the second turnover of the game.
Trevino on for the point after. It's a good snap and a good hold, and the kick from Trevino is also good. 13:07 to go here in the third. 38-14 Gladiators with the lead. Joe Finnessy, second fumble recovery return for a touchdown this season. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. Count Drug Mark. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions. And a look at that defensive touchdown that ended the last Spokane drive. There were a couple of Gladiators putting on the pressure.
Unbelievable job by them up front to get there. And, the important thing is when you get pressure, you got to be opportunistic. You got to try and search the football out, and that's what they did. And as I mentioned, we went to break there. Finnessy, terrific instincts to get that football and take it to the house.
Joe Finnessy always seems to be around the ball when somebody puts it on the turf, and Arvell Nelson did at that time. And Spokane's at that point in the game already. We're 2 minutes into the second half, not even 2 minutes into the second half, where they can't afford to not score a touchdown. They almost have to stop the Gladiators every time out either. They can't leave points on the table. They can't give the Gladiators anything. The Gladiators, on the other hand, a chance to really take this thing away if they can get a defensive stop here. As Amos is on the return, and he's forced to the boards on the far side by Devin Dace. 12:58 to go here in the third. 38-14 Gladiators.
You almost wondered, too, Doug, with them being down 24 points, if they score touchdowns, do they decide to, hey, let's just go for an onside kick every time?
I think they're at that point.
Because they're really struggling to stop the Gladiators' offense. What do you have to lose at this point to just try and stay in the game?
Keep in mind, Spokane is the team in this matchup that has already clinched a playoff spot over the National Conference. And it's deflected, incomplete, and now intercepted by Dominic Jones as he got crossed up with one of his teammates, still on his feet, cuts east-west, inside the 10-yard line, flag down. Jones spins away to the end zone, touchdown! Dominic Jones on the interception return.
Hate to say it's coming back. Well, the interception will stand, but the return, there's a hold on Willie McGinnis as he was just trying to be the last blocker, and it helped him get into the end zone.
Interception, and during the return, holding Cleveland, number 96. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st and 10, Cleveland.
Well, the Gladiators will take it either way. Now they have the football, and now they have a chance to really run away with this thing. It's 38-14. The Gladiators knock it on the door, looking for more. They'll have it at the 20-yard line of Spokane, going right to left.
And right here at the end of this play, I said it was Willie McGinnis. It's going to be Randy Colling, who just does, it's actually not a bad block. I think he had a little bit of jersey early that enabled him to turn the body of the defender, but what instincts by Dominic Jones. When he gets the football, he knows what to do with it.
3 receivers right side, 1st and 10, and Austin to Dominic Goodman, and he picks up a few, and then he's turned back on the stop by Micah King. Spokane's turned the ball over 3 times. The Gladiators haven't turned it over. That's the difference right now. Dominic Goodman on that play, making just his 2nd catch of the game. 11:30 to go in the 3rd. 38-14. Gladiators over the Shock. 2 receivers right side. Colin Taylor in motion. He'll join Amari Jackson on the left side. Austin on 2nd and 9. He pumps, and then they catch up to him. Austin taken down. It's going to be a quarterback sack. A couple of Spokane defenders got there. Downstairs, Kenny Rhoda.
Yeah, I'm with Dominic Jones, who had that interception on the last play. What's been the key defensively, you guys, with a number of turnovers here in this game? We're only in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, man, I think our defensive line is doing an excellent job. We had a good week of practice, and no guys are getting pressure up front, makes it easier for us in the back.
It's a heck of a run back. Too bad it got called back, but it'll still look good on the highlight film, right?
Exactly, man. I think that's like my 4th touchdown getting called back this year, so it's all right. We got the ball.
Congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Oh, yeah, we ain't finished yet, baby. We ain't finished yet.
Guys, up to you.
Dominic Jones says they're not finished yet. Gladiators offense looking for more here. Austin to Amari Jackson inside the 10-yard line for the 1st down and more, and he's angled to the boards, shy of the end zone. But a big pickup there for the Gladiators with 10:27 left here in the 3rd. The Gladiators, again, looking to make things incredibly difficult on the Spokane Shock. They can punch it in the end zone here, and they're down to the 4-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal. Looks like the 3. No, they do spot it at the 4. So 1st and goal from the 4 coming with 10:10 left here in the 3rd.
That's a great play by Amari Jackson. He knows they just got to pick up the 1st down. Don't have to try and be overzealous and score the touchdown. But he catches it, gets to the boards, and realizes he can make a defender miss and picks up an extra 5 yards.
2 receivers right side. They have 4 yards to go here toward the end zone. Austin takes off himself. He's wrapped up, though, and taken down by the MAC linebacker, Derek Summers. 9:42 left 3rd quarter, 38-14. Gladiators on top of the Shock. Austin got him about halfway there.
How about 3 more of those?
You wonder if we'll
bet he gets in.
See that again here as Austin. That was his 2nd carry of the game. He likes to run it in the end zone. 3 receivers right side. Austin's going to throw here toward the end zone for Amari Jackson, and it's incomplete over the head of Amari Jackson. The coverage was applied by Richard Dodd Masters.
See, I don't know how I feel about this call down here. It's 2nd down. You just ran your quarterback. You only really need about 2.5 yards, roughly. Austin, you mentioned he likes to run. The last thing you want to do here is turn the football over. You got to try and get in the end zone.
You got the momentum. You have to finish it off here. 8:46 to go in the 3rd. 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. It's a setup with 3 receivers to the right. PK Manley in the backfield. Austin will throw once again toward the end zone, and it's over the head of Amari Jackson. Again, an incomplete.
That's got to be a flag.
Sergio Gilliam shaken up for Spokane. The defensive back to his feet.
I think there is a flag, Doug. I think the official lost his flag or he threw something down on the turf to represent. I could be wrong.
If there's no flag, it's going to be 4th and goal.
Holding, defense, number 9. After this is the goal, automatic first down.
He was reaching for his pocket to get something out, and he couldn't get his flag out, so he threw something out of his pocket to represent the flag, and he knew it had to be holding.
So now a new set of downs from the 1-yard line. Jeremy Richardson has come in. Richardson, usually the runner who gets the ball when the Gladiators are in close if they decide to go that route. There's going to be a flag here.
Yeah, false start.
And with 7:48 going the third.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
7:48 to go in the third, 38-14. Gladiators over the Spokane Shock. And the Gladiators backing up a little bit here. Back to the 6-yard line they go now. So as we've talked about time and time again, the bright side to this situation, going from the 1 to the 6 as the playbook expands. Dominic Goodman line up wide to the right. Taylor in motion to the right side. Austin back to throw. He goes to the back of the end zone over the head of Colin Taylor. It's an incomplete pass, 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line coming. So 7:15 to go here in the third. 38-14 Gladiators over the Spokane Shock. First time these two teams have played since what was a nail-biter back on the 19th of April 2014. Gladiators won that one on the final play of regulation.
That was that Hail Mary off the netting at the end of the game. Theron Lewis, I believe, catches it,
Chris
right?
Deeker to Theron Lewis,
right.
and that was the first of those last-second finishes for the Gladiators last year. 2 receivers right side. Austin's going to scramble, but he's going to be wrapped up here and sacked in the backfield by a tandem of Spokane defensive linemen. James Ruffin, who we talked about in the lead-in, was leading the charge on that particular play. So it's now 3rd and goal for the Gladiators as Spokane's defense clamps down a little bit here on the Gladiators.
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job. You know, the Glads 2 times tonight, they've been inside the 3-yard line, and they've had a penalty that's backed them up. And the last time, they had to settle for a field goal.
And we mentioned the game winner against Spokane last year, and we take a look at it now.
Go to the archives, huh?
Back to the Gladiators archives.
Right here. Chris Deeker will give it a throw down the field. Deeker gets the snap. Deeker back to pass. Steps. He's going to hang it deep. He's going to put it off the net. And it's caught! It's caught for the touchdown on the final play. The Gladiators win it.
As Austin throws to the end zone, this one incomplete, intended for Theron Lewis. It'll be 4th and goal from the 8 coming. Tim Alcorn was filling in on the broadcast. He was on the call for that one. Heck of a job by him. And that was the scene last year when the Gladiators played Spokane. There were certainly some folks on the Spokane side who were not pleased with the outcome there, and some of those folks still suiting up for the Spokane Shock.
Still reeling over that one.
5:30 left here in the third, and now the field goal unit on once again for the Gladiators.
Deja vu.
38-14 Gladiators trying to make it 41-14. If Trevino can bury this one. Good snap, good hold. Trevino's kick is no good. And now on the return is Dodd Masters for Spokane. Up the left side. He's got some room. Tries to slip by Chris Deeker. He's in the clear. Dodd Masters to the end zone. Touchdown, Spokane.
Well, just like that, this game can turn in a hurry. The Glads going in to put this thing away, and then they miss a field goal, and all of a sudden the Shock are back in it.
And we've talked about how quickly things can turn in the Arena Football League, and by no means have the Gladiators really given up momentum. They're still up by 18. If the extra point is good, 17 points. But again, a quick turn of events for Spokane, and you know if you're Andy Olson's team exactly what they were looking for at this point in the game. Something like that to go their favor, because they haven't really gotten much in the way of a bounce tonight.
Rashard Dodd Masters on that return. I think he may have pulled up a little bit lame there towards the end, too. He reaching at his leg as he was walking off the field.
The extra point's good. It's 38-21 Gladiators in front. But a touchdown for Spokane after a missed field goal return, taken all the way back by Rashard Dodd Masters. 4:25 left in the third. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. 4:25 left, third quarter, 38-21. Gladiators in front now after Spokane scored on a missed field goal, return for a touchdown by Richard Dodd Masters. Folks, kids can join the coolest club in town, the Gladiators Kids Club. For only $15, you get a drawstring bag, t-shirt, tickets to a game, and much more. For tickets, 216-420-2222, or visit clevelandgladiators.com. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions. Gladiators Kids Club certainly fun, and Gladiators games fun for the kids as well. Kickoff from Rowan. Down the field it goes to our right. Amari Jackson. Chance to cleanly return this one. And he's bumped inside the 5. We've got a penalty flag down. Jackson escapes. He's on his feet to the 15-yard line. Shakes away out toward midfield. And he is taken down by Rashad Carter. Flag during the return, and now a dust up away from things. And we wait for the final ruling. Amari Jackson was able to turn that return into something. Now the Gladiators in a situation where they do need to rebound on this drive and put 6 on the board. And it looks like both sides looking for answers. You can see Kenny Rhoda down there. He's looking for answers as to how things are going to shake out here. And we have a verdict.
We have 2 penalties on the play. During the return, holding, number 33. Texton goal. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the bench of Spokane. 10-yard penalty, first down. Timeout on the field. Immediate timeout.
Well, with all that, it'll be Gladiators football, and we're going to step aside. The Gladiators will start things up when we come back. First down and 10. 38-21 Gladiators. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. 17 with 4:09 to go here in the third quarter. 38-21. Gladiators over the Spokane Shock. Gladiators looking to respond after they came up empty on that last drive. Missed field goal, return for a touchdown. Shane Austin, 1st and 10. A throw to Taylor, has it at the 20. Cuts across the field, and he's taken into the boards hard on the far side by Mike McMillan, the defensive back. Forced out of bounds. A pickup of 5 yards.
It's Colin Taylor's 7th catch tonight. About 113 yards. Call that a pretty good night.
We've still got a long way to go in this one. 7 catches, 4 of them have concluded in the end zone. 3:25 left, third quarter, 2nd and 5 for the Gladiators from their own 22, going right to left. Austin drops back with time over the middle, and it's off the hand of McMillan, who reached out there, couldn't reel it in, and he wanted that one. If Spokane is able to come away with something like an interception, it could really turn things around, but that time just a little too far for McMillan to pick it up. 3rd and 5 coming for the Gladiators.
Doug, they started the game off very aggressive. You know, they were taking a lot more shots down the field. Even Kenny brought it up, you know, after the first couple of touchdowns. That was Coach Tunn's mindset to start this game. Now you're seeing a lot of short throws. I just wonder if they're getting a little bit too complacent here.
3 receivers left side, and Austin looking over the middle to Amari Jackson, and airmailed him there. That's an incomplete pass, and now another trip to 4th down for the Gladiators here, needing 5. 2:26 to go, third quarter, 17-point ball game, and again, not a place where you want to turn the ball over on downs. You're back on your side of midfield. And a big play coming for the Gladiators here. 4th down and 5 to go with 2:10 to go in the third. Third quarter, defensive struggle between LA and Tampa Bay. Down to Tampa Bay, 14-10 LA, the lead third quarter of that game. Austin on 4th and 5. He's going to toss one off to Goodman, who makes the grab with the first down and more. He's taken down around the Spokane 20, but flags are on the field. Wait for the final ruling on this one.
Pointing against Spokane, which is a good sign. Either way, it's going to be a first down.
As Steve Tunn talks things over with members of the on-field officiating crew.
Holding. Defense, number 26. That penalty has been declined. First down.
So a big first down pickup for the Gladiators on 4th down and 5, and they get it to the 20-yard line of Spokane. So 1st and 10 from the 20. The Gladiators going right to left.
And take a look at the hold there by McMillan in the back end. Absolutely a hold, and
a play he didn't need to make.
Well,
away from the football.
Well, Shane Austin may have been looking down the middle of the field. That's part of the reason I think they called it.
Austin to Goodman inside the 15-yard line, taken down by McMillan. Dominic Goodman, a little bit quiet tonight, but hasn't had to be dominant in tonight's game so far. He's made the catches, though, when the balls have been put his direction. 1:13 to go, third quarter, 38-21. Gladiators over Spokane. Goodman a 5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5. Gladiators on the Spokane 14. 2 receivers right side, Taylor in motion. Austin. Yeah, he has it knocked out of his hand. The ball's on the turf, picked up by James Ruffin, and Spokane will take over inside the Gladiators' 20-yard line. Well, we talked about Ruffin in the lead-in, but now it looks like he's in a tough spot. They're calling for the training staff, but he's back up to his feet. You never like to see anybody get hurt, but the Gladiators come up empty on a second straight drive.
And that's frustrating because that's a drive right there where the Glads had the chance to potentially put Spokane away.
2 times now in a row they've had a chance to really run away with things. And
boy, what a great play there.
Ruffin.
Derek Summers gets in there and gets his hand on the football, and then, of course, Ruffin, right place, right time.
Nelson quickly to the right. He's well behind Carter, the intended man. So 2nd down and 10 coming, half minute to go here in the third. But couple things, Spokane defensively, they're doing the right things to give their offense a chance to get them back into this game. And you talked about it. You saw the Gladiators really building an offensive rhythm in that first half. And here in the second half, haven't seen as much of that rhythm.
Not at all. And Spokane's got a little bit of momentum here to start the fourth quarter. They'll let it run down and take it to the fourth quarter. Will not run another play.
So 6th fumble recovery for Ruffin on the year. That's going to take us to the end of the third. Spokane will be looking at 2nd and 10 from the Gladiators 17 when we come back. But the Gladiators still up 17 points. 38-21 is the score. Step aside, fourth quarter next. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back. 15 minutes on the clock, about time for the fourth quarter. Gladiators by 17, 38-21. But Spokane with the ball, 2nd and 10 from the Gladiators 17. Some Medical Mutual stats after 3 quarters. 13 first downs to 9 for the Gladiators. 177 to 117 the total yards in favor of the Gladiators. 3 turnovers for Spokane, 1 for the Gladiators. But the Gladiators now 2 straight drives where they've gotten down to Spokane territory and have come up empty. So that's why Spokane is hanging around in this football game. You get a look at the turnover that ended the last Gladiators drive.
That was a devastating play for Cleveland. I mean, we mentioned you're in a situation where you can put them away, and now it's anybody's game. I mean, it's still 17 points, but Spokane's in great position here to cut it to 10. And, boy, 10 points is nothing in the fourth quarter of arena football.
Certainly is, and if you can keep it to a 2-score game, you're in it.
Yep.
So a big drive here for Spokane, 2nd and 10 from the 17 once they get set up again. But you look at this game and some missed opportunities. Gladiators, we talked about their chances to put the game away on their last couple drives, didn't come up with any points. You look at Spokane and you look at some of these drops that they've had, most notably the one from Amos late in the first half that would have been good for a touchdown when they didn't come up with anything. So there have been missed opportunities on both sides tonight. This could either be a much closer game than it is right now. The Gladiators could be running away with it had certain things worked out in their favor. Arvell Nelson, the Cleveland native, a Glenville product. A little bit of a rough start, but his team's gotten a little bit more comfortable as things have gone along. Still hasn't been a very precise outing. The Gladiators' defense has been tough on them, but Spokane has, again, found a way to hang around in this football game. Kenny Rhoda down at field level, third member of our broadcast team. He's over on the bench. Kenny, what do you have for us?
Well, guys, one of the things I think that's very important with this football team is Mario Norman coming back on defense. Before the game, I could just see it coming out of the locker room, on the bench, pregame warm-ups, that swagger was back with Mario Norman coming back, because he's a guy that everybody on this roster respects. He was in the NFL, he was in the CFL, he's in the AFL, 12 picks last year. First team all AFL last year. Now he comes back at the most important time of the season for this team, trying to get in the playoffs. So defensively, they've done a nice job here tonight. And I think a lot of it has to do with Norman coming back and having that domino effect where everybody else just falls back into the role that they were in last year when they were rolling to that 17-1 record.
No question about it. And Mario Norman, a calming presence back there. Joe Finnessy goes to Jack linebacker where he's comfortable. Dominic Jones can play more of that game that he's comfortable playing. He can take more chances out there, go for the big hits. Brian Burkowski, let's not overlook him, but he's in there at Mac linebacker, back in and healthy. This is a defense with, we're into the second to last game of the regular season, a defense for the Gladiators that may be stronger right now than at any other point during the year.
Well, there's no question about that. The no-fly zone, as they call it, is now back together.
Number 1, taunting. Half the distance to the goal.
Well, there's
Second foul.
Mario Norman we're talking
Cleveland,
about.
number 33. Inappropriate language directed toward an official. Player has been removed from the game.
Can't do that.
Well, that's the end of Brian Burkowski. We just talked about Mario Norman and Brian Burkowski, and each one penalized the end of that third quarter. And
Take
now
everything back.
Spokane's knocking on the door. First and goal from the 4-yard line. So Mario Norman taunting Brian Burkowski was penalized as well. There's a handoff to Kelly. He plows through the middle and got maybe halfway to the end zone. It's going to be second down and goal for Spokane early in the fourth, and they want to score as quickly as possible here and get back to business. Their defense has been pretty solid and opportunistic as the game's worn along. It'll be second and goal from the 2-yard line. We'll see if they keep it on the ground or if they have Nelson throw it. Bryson Kelly is the fullback. Nelson is going to take it himself, gets a little push from his fullback. He lost the football. Who's going to come up with this one? There's a pile up for it right there at the goal line. No signal yet.
Gladiators ball.
And it's Gladiators football. Joe Finnessy comes out of the pile with the football in his hand. Arvell Nelson is just not very careful with the ball.
Well, here's the question I have. He's trying to reach it over the goal line when the football comes out.
Did he get there? That's the question.
Of course, but you wonder if you're Spokane, if you're going to
challenge flag on the field.
Challenge the, yeah, there you go. Challenge the call.
So this thing's either Gladiators football or it's a touchdown.
Correct.
14-17 left in the fourth, and another replay review that could really turn the game depending on what the ruling is.
I just don't know if you're going to have a great angle, because what you really need is a sideline angle right down the line. This may be the best look you have. Right as he reaches it out,
I don't think he got it there.
I don't think, correct, Doug. I don't think he got there, and I think he lost possession of it before he was even close to getting that across the goal line. This should be a rather easy call to say it stands.
Another situation where Spokane has to challenge because the game hinges on it in a way for them.
Doug, if they give them a touchdown off of that look we just had,
it's the wrong call.
My mind would be blown. That would be the wrong call. Kenny, what are you seeing down there?
I'm trying to look at the replay. Both officials are getting an up-close look at it from all the different angles. They're trying to determine if the ball broke the plane before it came loose, and it's tough to see from here. He's trying to stretch it out, and he did not have control. I think it's a fumble, guys.
That was our first reaction as well, and now it looks like we've reached a final decision.
After further review, the ruling on the field has been confirmed. The ball was fumbled before it broke the goal line. First down, Cleveland. Spokane in charge of timeout, and they are out of challenges for the remainder of the game.
So Spokane can't challenge anymore. They burn a timeout. The Gladiators hold on to their 17-point lead. Spokane comes up empty down near the goal line. Now the ball goes back to the Gladiators, and once again a situation where the Gladiators can't leave points on the table. Another chance for the Gladiators to really make things tough on Spokane and make this even more than the 17-point lead that it currently is. Arvell Nelson has had a rocky game for Spokane, hanging on to the football and just taking care of it. Joe Fennessy's second fumble recovery of the game. Gladiators back at their own 1-yard line. 2 receivers right side. Austin throws left for Amari Jackson. Gets him a little bit of space. Jackson shakes away. He's taken hard to the boards on the far side of the field. Good pickup. Some breathing room there for the Gladiators. 7 yards or so on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 3 from the 8. Gladiators going left to right, 1 minute into this fourth quarter. Again, a victory for the Gladiators, and they're heading to the playoffs to take on Philadelphia. It'll be a road playoff game in round 1 against the top-seeded Philadelphia Soul. 2 receivers right side. Austin throws again left side. This time Dominic Goodman has enough for the first down and maybe 1 more yard than that. 13:36 left in the fourth. 17-point lead for the Gladiators. New set of downs coming. Kenny Rhoda, what do you have?
Guys, I was just talking to head coach Steve Tunn. I said, hey, post corner anytime soon. He said, we got to get a little distance from the goal line before we consider that. Well, they're out to the 10 now, maybe another 5 yards, and that's something they wanted to do early in the game. Maybe we'll see it coming up here shortly.
Well, when the Gladiators stretch the field, you see them really pick up confidence in doing so. And 13-10 left here in the fourth. Gladiators up 17. 2 receivers right side. Taylor in motion, and flags on the field. We won't have a play. Movement on the line. You see.
Full start, offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So Jason Palmgren, the center, they get him there for the flag.
You know, Doug, for as sloppy as Spokane has played, you'd expect to see Cleveland have more points, you know, to be honest with you.
And the Gladiators,
they start out red hot. I mean, the way they started the game, you'd think that this game would be, 65-28 or something right now. It'd be blown wide open, but it's still definitely a football game.
3 receivers right side, a dump off to Amari Jackson, and he's able to get out to maybe the 10 or 11. He's forced out of bounds. Well, that goes back to what we've talked about. The Gladiators have had some chances to run away, but Spokane's still hanging around in this football game.
Again, just easy little throws here, trying to get them some more room, as Kenny mentioned, to allow them to take some shots down the field. But these little dinks and dunks, I guess they know they're eating up the clock and allowing the possession to continue, but I still think they got to find a way to get in the end zone here.
2 receivers left side. Taylor in motion in the slot. Austin on 2nd and 10. Goes long for Taylor, and a flag is down. It's an incomplete pass. We wait for the ruling here. There was contact down the field.
They're going to get a pass interference in the secondary of Spokane, but what's interesting is the refs missed a blatant hold on the Gladiators, so they're going to get a big-time break here.
Pass interference, defense, number 26. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So McMillan costs his team there. It's going to be a first down for the Gladiators.
On that previous replay, you could see Philip Keith Manley, I believe, or maybe C.J. Cobb there, the hold right there on the left side of our screen here in the booth. Glad's get away with one there.
Shane Austin now looking long for Theron Lewis, and he bobbles and can't hang on to it. Juggled a little bit there and then had a second chance. The ball bounced back in his direction. Incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10. Gladiators back at their own 21-yard line with 11:30 to go here in the fourth. They're going left to right, and they're up 38-21.
I like them taking shots, though. 2 plays back-to-back. Again, now, as Kenny pointed out, they've got some room here. I'd do it again. I'd keep stretching this defense. The one thing it'll do is at least, some of those underneath throws will start to open back up.
And we've seen Spokane prone to taking penalties when you go down the field. 2 receivers left side. Austin on 2nd and 10 throws, and a diving grab is made by Taylor at the 15 of Spokane. Then he's quickly tackled by McMillan. But a first down for the Gladiators. Taylor over the middle, dove out and reeled that one in. 10:45 left here in the fourth. First down for the Gladiators. And again, now the key here for the Gladiators is finishing the drive. Last couple of drives, gotten down to Spokane territory, and things have turned against them a little bit. Key here is to finish this one in the end zone. 2 receivers left side. Amari Jackson in motion. All three receivers to the left of Shane Austin. On first down, he's pressured, scrambles right, gets it out of his hands, and throws it away incomplete. 10-11 left here in the fourth. 38-21, Gladiators over the Spokane Shock. We've gone through 5 minutes of this fourth quarter. Austin was forced out of the pocket there by a heavy Spokane pass rush, did the right thing, avoided disaster, and got it away. Was hauled in by one of the Gladiators girls. 9:45 left in the fourth quarter. Two receivers left side. Shane Austin over the middle. Taylor's got it. Touchdown Gladiators. Number 5 tonight for Colin Taylor.
Just keep racking them up.
41 on the year, 5 on the evening, and Colin Taylor has given the Gladiators a 44-21 lead.
An amazing performance from Colin Taylor. Just throw him the football. He'll get in the end zone. He knows how to find the end zone. Easy throw. Beautifully thrown, actually, over the Jack linebacker to allow Colin Taylor to take it in the end zone.
5 touchdown passes for Shane Austin, and all of them to number 17. Adrian Trevino's on for the extra point try. Gladiators 8 minutes 49 seconds away from a victory, but a lot of work to do before you can seal this one up. Snap the hold, the kick from Trevino is good. And it's a 45-21 ball game for the Gladiators. That'll send us on to another official timeout. Folks, this is Cleveland Gladiators football, presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back, 8:35 to go here in the fourth quarter, 45-21. Gladiators on top of the Spokane Shock. Adrian Trevino to kick it away here. Lively crowd on hand here at the Q. And Trevino from our left will kick it away down to our right. Anthony Amos on the return off the netting, and he'll have a chance to bring it out. Out of the end zone 5-yard line, and an angle to the boards by Jeremy Richardson, who flies into the seats, that front row. And a flag down. When a ball goes in the stands here at the Q during a Gladiators game, you can take that home. You can't take Jeremy Richardson home if he flies into the front row.
I think you could carry him home.
8:25 left here in the fourth, and penalty flag.
During the return, personal foul, late hit, number 4 on Cleveland, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So a penalty against the Gladiators. Spokane gets a little bit of a boost, and with that, we step aside. A Spokane drive when we come back. Gladiators football, presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. 8:25 left here in the fourth, 45-21. Gladiators on top of Spokane. They'll be first and 10 for Spokane from their own 17 in just a moment. Enroll in the Gladiators Football Alliance, the exclusive club for Gladiator season ticket holders. Members receive year-round benefits, special discounts, and much more. For details, 216-420-2222 or visit clevelandgladiators.com. Gladiators Football, presented by Unique Home Solutions. Colin Taylor having himself a heck of a ball game, to say the least, Dustin. And it all started back in the first half of the first series of the game for the Gladiators. His first of 5 touchdowns so far in the game that has put him up to 41 on the year.
And a lot of them have been big plays. This is the one at the end of the first half. It'll out and up, tricks the defense, gives the Glads extended lead to going into halftime.
And the first play of the Spokane drive is an incomplete pass over the middle to Rashawn Carter. I'll bring up second down from the 17-yard line. The Spokane 17-yard line, that is. They're going right to left. And a game of missed opportunities here in the second half, but the Gladiators have missed fewer opportunities than Spokane has, really, as this one's gone on. That's why they've built this 24-point lead. Marvell Nelson whips one onto Zambrano up the near side, and he'll get to midfield, taken down hard by Dominic Jones. So Jabin Zambrano picks up about 7 or 8. It'll be third down. Pickup of 8 yards, they say. So 3rd and 2 coming for Spokane. 3 receivers to the right. Arvell Nelson over the middle, and it's incomplete off the hands of the intended receiver Carter, and Dominic Jones flattened him.
Boy, Dominic Jones is just a headhunter out there from his safety position. He looked like Dick Night Train Lane coming over the middle. That's going way back to the 60s of the NFL, and oh, what a hit.
4th down and 2. From the midfield stripe. 2 receivers right side for Spokane, make it 3, and now flags on the field.
Full start, offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, still 4th.
So they hit the offensive lineman, Deverick Gallington of Spokane, and with that, it becomes 4th and 7. The Gladiators defense come up with a big stop here, and the Gladiators are really in control. Nelson will have to try and do it himself. Takes off, flag in the field. He gets across midfield. Looks like he'll be shy of the 1st down, but we wait and see what the flag is for in this situation. As they talk it over at field level.
Spokane's pointing at Cleveland.
Gladiators seem to have some questions here. Body language will usually tell you what you need to know. 45-21 Gladiators. Again, Spokane hanging around if they can score on this drive. If they don't score on this drive, and the Gladiators can take more off the clock, and things would then become much more difficult for the Shock.
Face mask, defense, number 56. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run, 1st down.
So they get Willie McGinnis for a face mask with 6:32 to go in the 4th quarter, and it becomes 1st down. So Gladiators had Spokane on the ropes to 4th down and long, and Spokane with a penalty, they're able to get the 1st down. 1st and 10 from the Gladiators 14. Now 3 receivers right side for Arvell Nelson and company. Nelson drops back, throws right side, caught by Sembrano, and he's angled to the boards by Norman and Finnessy. 2nd down coming as Spokane has entered the red zone. It'll be 2nd and 4 from the 8-yard line. Spokane, again, we talked about earlier on, but their red zone offense, weakest in the league. 2 receivers left side. Nelson rolls right, and he'll have to chuck this one away. Put it right down the hallway toward the Cavs locker room.
And they're taking their good old time here, down 24 points. Still huddling up, and Nelson's running over to the coach at the sideline and running his own plays in. You think they'd have a little bit more sense of urgency here.
3rd and 4 from the 8-yard line. Spokane knocking on the door. 5:19 left here in the 4th. 3 receivers left side. Nelson throws. Sembrano to the end zone. Touchdown, Spokane. So 5:05 to go in the 4th. Spokane cuts it to a 45-27 game. The extra point unit will come on. Or will they go for 2?
Probably go for 2.
Looks like that's going to be the decision. And we talked about it earlier as well, but would imagine we're entering onside kick territory for Spokane. They are going to go for 2. 2nd receiving touchdown for Jabin Sembrano tonight. 3 receivers to the left of Arvell Nelson. Trying to make this a 2-score game if they can get the 2-point conversion. Nelson to the end zone, caught, and it's a 2-point conversion. Successful for the Spokane Shock. It was caught by Rashad Carter. Got some separation, kind of a broken play, but they made it work.
Really good play by Arvell Nelson to buy himself some time, and he just lobs it up.
So it's now a 45-29 game. Gladiators by 16, and they'll get the ball when we come back. 4:31 left in the 4th. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back. 4:31 to go here in the 4th quarter. 45-29. It's Gladiators in front after a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion. Successfully converted by the Spokane Shock. So now it's a 16-point ball game. potentially 2 touchdowns, 2-point conversions away of the Spokane Shock. Will there be an onside kick here? The Gladiators certainly are anticipating it. Taylor Rowan on for the try. He'll boot it. It's a roller, and Dominic Goodman there to smother it. And the Gladiators will have it around the 11-yard line of the Shock. You see a lot of those rolling onside kicks now that just go along the turf and don't seem to work too well. Folks, we'll step aside. Gladiators ball close to the end zone. When we come back, Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My 43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. 4:27 to go here in the fourth. Gladiators by 16. They'll have it 1st and 10 from the Spokane 11-yard line after the onside kick didn't work out. And mentioned it before the break. You see a lot of those rolling onside kicks that don't take that textbook high bounce, and whether maybe he was trying to do that and didn't get that bounce, things just didn't work out for him.
It's a different style of onside kick because there's a risk of when you kick that kangaroo hop, it can go out of bounds. I think this gives you more chance to kind of think it's going to squirt out of there.
1st and 10 for the Gladiators. Austin toward the end zone, and incomplete for Goodman. Austin 19 of 34, 224 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, had the 1 fumble when the pressure got to him that one time. There have been a couple of situations, not many, but a couple where the Spokane defensive front was able to make its way into the backfield, and you knew that was going to happen at times tonight. They have too much talent on that pass rush for you to keep them in check from start to finish. The Gladiators have done a good job overall of keeping those guys away from Shane Austin for the most part. 3:37 to go fourth quarter. Gladiators by 16. 2 receivers right side. Theron Lewis in motion to the left. Austin on 2nd down. Throws it end zone. Lewis, touchdown. Gladiators. 51-29. Gladiators in front. A touchdown catch for Theron Lewis.
And Theron Lewis celebrating after the play and doing a little bit of taunting to Sergio Gilliam because Sergio grabs Theron Lewis and he still was able to come up with the football. And he's saying, you're going to hold me, and you still can't stop me.
Theron Lewis, the grab. And inside 3 minutes to go in the fourth now, and Gladiators comfortably in front with that. 2nd touchdown catch as a Gladiator this season for Theron Lewis. And Trevino on for the extra point try. Trevino's kick is up and through. 52-29, Gladiators over the Shock. 2:30 to go here in the fourth. Another point we've talked about time and time again for the Gladiators this season, it's getting to that 50-point threshold. When they can do that, things tend to line up in their favor.
Let's go, man.
It's 2:30 to go here in the fourth.
Let's go.
You heard it from field level.
Get a chance to hear some of the fans here who are pretty fired up as they're doing the yes chant. 52-29, got to feel pretty good about this one.
Again, the Gladiators now 2 minutes, 30 seconds away from securing a playoff spot. That's the big thing here. Gladiators looking for win number 7, but looking for a 2nd straight trip to the playoffs. This is a team that's picking up steam as the season rolls along. In terms of health and strength of the roster. Of course, the last few games haven't gone the way the Gladiators wanted them to, but right now, personnel-wise, things lining up more favorably than they really have all year.
I can't let myself think a game is won because of what we saw last year when the Glads came back down 19 with a minute to go. So I think that was a good lesson for us to learn that arena football,
you got to play it to the final horn.
It's a game that you have to absolutely play to the final whistle.
So Trevino's going to kick this one. What Dustin's telling you, folks, is to keep it locked here. As everybody knows, you don't leave an arena football game early. Amos on the return. He's met by 3 Gladiators. Lewis, Norman, Jones, all in there on the stop. And it's going to be a long field, about 45 yards ahead of the Spokane Shock. 2:19 left here in the fourth. 52-29, Gladiators over Spokane. And they give them a favorable spot, 7-yard line. And the Gladiators defensively looking for that big stop here on this sequence. Arvell Nelson and company need 43 yards to score. A pass for Amos. He can't hang on. He heard and felt Dominic Jones on his way to the scene, and Amos couldn't hang on. Amos came in, again, the leading receiver for Spokane, and he's been kept in check. Haven't really seen him get to the Gladiators too much tonight.
And Dominic Jones is a fun player to watch. If you haven't seen him play live before, it's a treat because he plays every single down like it's his last, and he flies all over the field trying to take somebody's head off. He's a monster.
The comfort with him out there right now is a pass from Nelson is completed to Carter, and he's out near the sticks. Could be enough for the first down with a minute to go here in the fourth. Down to Kenny Rhoda.
Here with Theron Lewis, who caught that last touchdown pass and made the play on special teams, doing it all over the field tonight.
Hey, you gotta be focused, and you gotta perfect everything you do when you're on the field. I mean, you never know when your number calls. So special teams, we need it done to win. Gotta do it.
What was the play call there on the touchdown?
We had right Y motion backside, and we had a corner call. And I've been playing against Sergio for quite some time now. He doesn't have the best hips in the game, so.
Took advantage of it, knew it, right?
Yeah. Had to take advantage of it, had to.
All right, keep it up.
Appreciate it.
Doug, back up to you.
Thanks very much, Kenny. It's 52-29 Gladiators. 1 minute warning. We'll step aside. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on My43 WAB and 92.3 The Fan. One minute to go, fourth quarter, Gladiators 52, the Shock 29, and the Gladiators looking to wrap up a playoff spot if they can preserve this thing for the final 1 minute of regulation time. Gladiators, if they win this thing, punch ticket to the playoffs where they will play the top-seeded Philadelphia Soul in round one on the road. More details on that should the situation present itself. A pass now from Nelson to Truesdell, and he's got a clear lane to the end zone for a touchdown. He took a hit from Mario Norman on the way in, then he spiked it. Now he's going to have some words with Mario Norman.
Not the time. You're down 23 points. I think you're talking smack.
We haven't seen a ton from him tonight. I was wondering where he had gone for a while. He pops back up and ends up with a touchdown catch. But
well, I think he was mad Mario Norman tried to take a lick at him at the end of this play, but he was hot dogging it in the end zone. So obviously that's why Norman was a little bit upset and decided he was going to try and get a shot at him at the end of that play.
Kick from Rowan is good. It's now a 52-36 ball game. Gladiators out in front. No doubt we're going to see the Spokane onside kick again. 53.4 seconds left, fourth quarter. So what we've got here is a 16-point ball game. Hard to believe we actually, in virtually this same amount of time, we saw the Gladiators come back from further behind than this.
19 points.
Yep, it's 19 points. The old touchdown, onside kick, touchdown, onside kick, touchdown, just like you draw it up every time.
Just like you draw it up.
Folks, 11,674 on hand tonight. Good crowd at the queue. As we get ready for the ensuing kickoff. (52-36) Gladiators in front of the Shock. Total yards so far, 232 for the Gladiators, 191 for Spokane.
The one rule that I love arena football has that I would love to see the NFL go to is the way they handle this final minute of the game. I would like to see the NFL go to the last 2 minutes of the game very similar to this, where you can't take a knee. And it just keeps the intrigue there. It always kind of allows teams to have a shot.
The onside kick try. This is going to be the high bouncer, and Dominic Goodman has it, and he takes it a couple of yards and goes down. Dominic Goodman, so valuable when your team's facing an onside kick. So the Gladiators 52, Shock 36, 49.9 seconds left, down to field level. Kenny Rhoda.
Look for the Gladiators here on first down to run a play to force the Shock to call a timeout, and then depending on how that play goes, you may see them to try and attack and still put some more points on the board. But a run on first down, and then they've got some plays to play with after that because the Shock will be down to only one timeout.
The Shock burned a timeout on a challenge that didn't go their way earlier in this second half. Two receivers right side, and it is indeed Shane Austin plowing ahead for a pickup of a few. Exactly what Kenny Rhoda specified. So Spokane burns their second time out of the second half. 46.6 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Second and goal coming from the 6-yard line.
They can pretty much just win the game by running another quarterback sneak, make the Shock take their final timeout. There'll be about 43 seconds to go, run another quarterback sneak, and then the clock will essentially run out. Maybe there'll be a few seconds left.
So 6 yards separating the Gladiators from the end zone. Colin Taylor in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Jeremy Richardson. Through the middle, touchdown Gladiators. Jeremy Richardson from 6 yards out. A touchdown that puts the Gladiators up 58-36. And again, we've seen crazy things, but the Gladiators have to feel pretty comfortable with that.
Yeah, that should pretty much put it away at this point.
It's going to be Trevino coming on for the extra point. Try to hopefully make this thing a 23-point ball game. Seventh rushing touchdown of the season for Jeremy Richardson. You're talking about guys who are dynamic players. Jeremy Richardson, we see him in a lot of situations. He's that.
Oh yeah, he's all over the field.
He's that running back when you get down there inside the 5-yard line, inside the 10-yard line. He's defensive lineman. We've seen him all over the field this season.
Catch a screen pass out of the backfield.
Here's the extra point try, and it's good from Trevino. So 59-36, Gladiators on top of Spokane with 42.8 left here in the fourth quarter. So 42.8 seconds left from securing a playoff spot of the Gladiators as they look to hang on to this 23-point advantage that they've built up here in the second half. A second half in which the Gladiators were a little slow out of the gate, picked things up as it went along.
Yeah.
And I think you look at the defense coming up with some big plays that really picked up that confidence for the whole team.
Can't say enough about that defense. I'm telling you, they got that little boost of something in their arm when they got Mario Norman back on this team, back on this defense, Doug. And I think that's going to be huge for them as they get in the playoffs. They're a different team now, and that's what's exciting about arena football. You know, you don't have to have a great regular season record to make it in. Now, granted, they're not going to have a home game, but they got a shot here.
They do, and they're going to go in against a Philadelphia team. Should they get this thing here, and they're comfortably in front by 23 with 42.8 on the clock, but Philadelphia will be the round one opponent. What's interesting is the Gladiators play Philadelphia right here in this building a week from tonight at 7 o'clock, so you have the potential for the Gladiators and the Soul, arch rivals, to play 2 weeks in a row at a very critical point in the season, with both teams will obviously have a lot on the line, and crazy things happen in football when you see a team 2 weeks in a row, and if you add in a playoff game, that would be 4 meetings between the Gladiators and Philadelphia this season.
I'll be curious to see if Coach Tunn decides to play a starting quarterback in that game.
Be interesting to see as a kickoff is a roller down the field, and Spokane looks like we're going to have a little dust up here. And with 37.2 on the clock, the Spokane offense comes on. 37.2 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. 59-36. Gladiators in front of Spokane.
First down.
And it looks like it'll be Spokane football at the 7-yard line. First down and 10. Shot going right to left. Two receivers to the right. Looks like it'll be 3. Amos in motion. Arvell Nelson drops back, and he finds Truesdale, but Truesdale can't find the football. Incomplete pass.
It hit Truesdale in a bad spot. right between the numbers in his hands.
Well, we've seen a lot of that tonight from the Spokane Shock, and I think if you're their head coach, Andy Olson, and you're going to the drawing board after this one, preparing for next week, I think first thing you're going to see on the tape that shows up is the drops. Secondly, the missed opportunities when your team was down close to the goal line. Didn't protect the football. 3 receivers right side, 33.4 seconds on the clock. Nelson drops back, throws off his back foot, and is able to connect with Anthony Amos. So a gain there, but not enough for a first down. 26.1 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Gladiators by 23. They get it out to the 12-yard line. So with 26.1 on the clock, Spokane looking at 3rd down and 5. 2 receivers left side, 1 to the right. Arvell Nelson looking down the field. Pressure gets to him. He escapes and runs out to the 15-yard line where he's smothered by Finney and McGinnis.
Clock's going to run out.
15 seconds left, and Spokane may not get another playoff. The Gladiators could be marching on to the playoffs here as the end of this game is set to take away. Spokane's going to try and run one more play down the field. The final horn set to go. Nelson heaves this thing long, and it's going to be a touchdown for Spokane. Amos up to make the grab. And Spokane comes up with their best offensive play of the football game when no time is left. It's 59-42. So the Gladiators are going to win this thing. It ends on a touchdown that's rather inconsequential, but again, it was Spokane's best play of the game, and really, they got desperate a little too late is what that tells you.
My goodness, they should have just been throwing it up to the end zone all along.
Either way, the Gladiators win 59-42, and for the second straight season, the Gladiators are heading to the playoffs. The Gladiators will meet the Philadelphia Soul in the first round. That'll be Saturday, August 15th at 5 o'clock out in Philadelphia. The official Gladiators watch party that night will be at Dave & Buster's in Westlake. So everybody encouraged to head over to Dave & Buster's, 5 o'clock on Saturday, August 15th. That's when the Gladiators will play Philadelphia in round 1. Dave & Buster's in Westlake, home of the official Gladiators playoff watch party. So that's what lies ahead. First, though, the Gladiators a week from tonight have the final game of the regular season against that very same Philadelphia Soul team. So they're going to see Philadelphia 2 games in a row, the final regular season game and the playoff opener. So that's what lies ahead for the Gladiators, who get a big win tonight. They needed this one. They had matters in their own hands. They could get the playoff spot, and they did that. Let's go down to Kenny Rhoda.
I'm with Ron James, defensive coordinator. Head coach Steve Tunn told me before the game that you guys had to get more than 1 stop on defense. You did that tonight. What was the key there?